What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Real Spill, where we only spill the real. Make sure to hit the like button on your way in, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you get a notification every time we drop new content. Let's get into this conversation. Okay, hey y'all. Hey.
Hello.
Okay, we are live. And today we're going to get a little controversial. We're going to be talking about gun ownership. And I'm pretty sure 4 out of the 5 are gun owners. But I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not wrong? That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Naja, you're a gun owner?
Nope.
Oh, no.
She's the only one that doesn't have a.
That's not true.
No, I don't. I'm not a gun owner.
Still?
Right. Right. That part.
Why does everybody feel like he does have a gun?
Because he's a man.
And he's black.
It's not what I meant to do. Sorry.
Well, I'm gonna give you a couple reasons. First of all, as some of y'all might know, I actually, I'm the deputy commander for the Dr. King Jr. Parade, right? Like, so that, in following the footsteps, that's one of my biggest, I would call him a mentor, even though he was never alive to actually do that. But, I try to follow that same path. And so there's that. But when I was younger, I definitely was a gun owner, right? And it was it was not legally. I had a gun. I remember my boy gave me a gun, and it was a 380, and I remember. So I got the gun. And I was in my parking lot. I wanted to just wanted to shoot it, and so pow! I shot it in the air, and then the clip fell out. I was like, oh no. I was like, I'm glad that I wasn't in no gunfight for real, for real. Um, and so that was in 2000, and that was 2000. So that was the last time I've touched a gun uh, and owned a gun.
Do you own a gun?
Who?
You.
Come on now, you know I do.
More than one?
I got a lot of them. I'll just say that.
Don?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I do too. Guilty. So, does everybody want to tell me their view on gun ownership?
Yep, I'll start. So, I initially was not down for guns. I was anti-weapons. And then I watched a documentary, and it was by a white guy, and it was called Steel, and something about wood, steel, and all the building blocks of life. And he basically went into history about how the European was able to conquer everywhere that they have wars at back in the day by simply turning these precious, these rare metals into weaponry. And they were the only ones. That's how they overtook Africa in the end. That's how they got the Zulus. They had created the automatic machine gun. And Zulus were still on knives and machetes and spears. So they did that multiple places. It was in Asia. The Asians took over it, but they clearly were the ones. Europe clearly was the ones that started guns and weapons and taking over. So fast forward into real life right now, I was thinking I wouldn't win in a knife fight, and that it would be important to at least understand this item that could take a person's life from another person, because it's clearly not a natural thing. It's clearly somebody decided to make this up and to intentionally take another person's life for whatever reason. So I went and did it all right. I went and got my license to carry, concealed carry, because Denver, you have to have it. Everywhere else you don't. But whenever you pass through Denver, it'd be good to just have it on you or whatever. So I did all that. I started learning about guns, started taking a lot of classes, I still don't have a lot. Like I have a 380 and I have a 40. So my 40 and my 380, the only time I shoot them is when I go to the range. And the feeling is good. It's almost like axe throwing. It's almost like exercising. So it's for those purposes. But yeah, I basically have them at my home. They're for home protection because I am a female and I don't have a lot of men around me. My mom has a gun. She shot a few times. Anyone at the time I was with this black organization out here, and I can't recall the name of it right now, but the organization was gun carrying black people that carry guns in Colorado. And we would go together to different ranges. Now it was interesting. It was interesting. One range actually banned us, and there was some stuff that went down about that. But if any of you go to a range, you know that you in a company with some people that will make you want to go and get more armor, more weapons. So it just yeah, I only have two. I want to get more. I want to be like Kia. D, I don't know what you have or what you hold in, what your armory looks like, but yeah, I'm trying to get more just so I can better protect my home in the case of insurgencies.
Yeah. Oh, just the backtrack. The Chinese actually invented guns about 1,000 years ago. I mean, the European did come to perfect it, though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, the Chinese, and invented the gunpowder and the first gun. But no, I ain't gonna say everything, but I got some assault rifles and some nines, a couple nines, 40s, 45s, 38s. I got a handful of shotguns. Um, and that's about it. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite one?
My favorite is, mm, well, I like revolvers, but that's my favorite is one of my revolvers, my 38. But my favorite might probably my 40 caliber Glock. I got a Glock 35. Um, Installed an internal laser max beam on it. Uh, so it's a pretty good gun right there. Pretty reliable.
What gun range do you go to?
Shoot. Normally I go to the firing line.
Okay.
Uh, my cousin was telling me about the Centennial and the Cherry Creek range. So I
Cherry
just haven't
Creek
got out there
really
yet.
got banned from the Cherry Creek range, but
Oh, that the one? Oh, okay. Yeah. But no, they said the Centennial one is pretty good too. Pretty nice.
So I'm thinking we're just gonna have to use the little that we have to get us to D's house, and then we'll be good.
That's what you
Right.
think? Because
No,
do you have like, okay, because our purpose for holding weapons like that is for preparation, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's for preparation of any type of invasion. You have the right. This is Second Amendment right to bear arms. Um, but as much as I might get a little baby armory here, whatever, and start collecting them because they are expensive. Um, I don't. I'm not too. I'm more pessimistic about the total outcome. And most African Americans that I've talked to about it, they say they're gonna get as much as they can, or if we were to go to war, or if we were to have an insurrection, that they'd get as many as they can before in the end.
listen, Kia, let's talk about you. I'm curious to, if you care to share, feel comfortable to share what kind of guns you have, and then what kind of led you to gun ownership.
Okay, hang on a second. I'm having some audio issues myself. But I have a handgun and I have an assault rifle. And I did today go and get my concealed to carry permit. And my reasoning for being a gun owner is because I am a woman and people are crazy and I wish a nigga would. But that's my spill on it. I too, like Don, was anti-gun and things of that nature. And as the world has progressed, my mindset is completely different because we just don't know what's going to happen. So, yeah, that's my spill on that.
Mhm.
Naja, why are you not a gun owner?
So, a couple of reasons. Although maybe this is a different conversation, but I can't wait to hear y'all talk about this insurrection because I want to hear about the insurrection. But anyway, um, I could not live with myself if I shot another human being. I know me, and I couldn't do it. I don't. That's not me caring about what anybody else does. And if I ever, God please, let me get a man someday in my life. If I ever have a man and he has a gun and he shoots somebody that tries to intrude on our home, I don't have a problem with that as long as he can live with himself. I just know that I can't, and so that's why I don't need a gun. My friend uh, told me he wants to take me to the range so that I can know how to use one in case something ever happens. But when it comes to protective strategies for me, I feel like my protection comes in a very, very, very different format. And Kia, I also wish a nigga would, but it is not. It doesn't look like that for me. So if we do end up getting to have the insurrection conversation, I would love to talk about the different ways that we protect ourselves. I support everybody using their Second Amendment rights. I just know that I would not be able to live with myself. If I stab somebody in self-defense, that's okay because you tried it. But if I
You
took a
don't think
life
that's like
or
way too up close and personal?
no,
That's
because
way too up close and personal. I think I
if
wouldn't be
you
able to
got
live
that
with that.
close, nah, if you got that close to me, you deserve to get stabbed. So, like, for me, I think I feel like there's too much margin for error with a gun. If you're far enough away that I can't stab you, it's possible that I could have just run or escaped. And I don't want to cause harm to anybody. But if you right up on me like that, then you deserve to get stabbed.
So do you carry a knife on you then?
I don't, but I keep thinking about getting one.
I say
but
do a
but
taser,
also
girl.
but also remember, I don't really feel like my protection is lacking though either.
Oh, you don't feel like you're to
So
that
I think that there's
insurrection
a
point.
there is this so there's this thing
I
about gun
still wish a
ownership.
nigga would, Don.
I think
Sorry,
that this
Stu.
thing about the gun. No, I just think that there's this thing about gun ownership. I think that when we think about, or people think about gun ownership, they think, oh, I get a gun and I'm safer, right? And like a lot of people ain't doing no tactical training. They're only going to a range and shooting at a still target, right? There's no like if somebody's weaving and shit, like, are you gonna be able to hit them? Like, I don't know if it's just enough to own a gun or just go to a gun range and think that you're safer.
Well, here's the crazy part, because you do have to take training. You do have to take training on gun ownership and
That's the
carrying
carry.
it.
That's only for concealed carry. If
No,
you
but they have a whole big thing. They have a whole big thing. They have like a week long event where they teach you tactical and like they teach you everything.
That's if you want to, but if you want to
Right.
go and get a weapon, you can go and get a gun. You don't have to shoot none of them. You just have to pass the background check.
Which I kind of feel is, it's a little sketch.
So
It's a little sketch.
my question is, and this is for D, this is for Don and Kia. Yo, like, do you feel that you are skilled enough to hit a moving target?
So when
Yes.
you go,
Yeah, I'm like, if you're coming at me, yes.
D is he's on the advanced level. I think me and Kia are down on intermediate or something. Um, I've only gone to the range, right? But I carry everywhere just for license purposes. I don't think that is going to protect me. I still be scared because the law says or whatever, when you get pulled over, you have to show them that you have a concealed carry or whatever. But do I know? Because I'm not about that life. I don't want those problems. I've seen what happens to us. It would be dumb for me to think that I'm protected if they've already killed someone that was did have a license, so it wouldn't matter. So I don't tell them.
Yeah,
You
you're
know,
not obligated to tell them, but you can volunteer the information. And they
I
were
don't,
saying that
but
there are certain ways that you would do that
so
to avoid.
right. But wait, so to answer your questions, Stu, a moving target. It depends on what kind of moving are you talking about. Like if somebody comes in my house and they're approaching me and I have my purse right there, yeah, I'm confident I can reach them. I have my 380 in my purse. I'm confident I can hit that person. But um, on some sniper stuff or intentionally just trying to take somebody out, no, I'm not. I can't go past like from here to my door. So when I'm even when I'm at the gun range, it can't go too far away. And I've had people show me how to do it because there's a lot of factors when you're shooting a gun, especially further than you sitting on the couch and somebody coming in your front door. If it's further than that, like you have a whole lot of people or something, and you can clearly see them coming towards you, and you have an opportunity to defend yourself, I would be toe up because I don't have a scope and I think it's kind of costly. I mean, even going to the gun shows and stuff, that stuff adds up. It's real expensive. So that's my reasoning.
I'll say this: like if you got the basics down as far as shooting, as far as how to squeeze the trigger, not pull it, jerk, and end up jerking the gun. You know how to shoot. Like when it comes down to hitting a target, a moving target. I mean, your nerves are gonna play a huge factor in that. This is why you can have police, they train all the time. But they try to hit a moving target, they'll empty a whole clip out and only hit a person once. But they don't let off 17 shots. So, nerves play a big factor in shooting a life-threatening target, you know.
And straight up, I wouldn't ever want to be that good at shooting. So good that I'm no longer nervous and therefore I'm definitely going to shoot you. Like, I would never want to get that good at it.
But there's nothing wrong with it. I'm a firm believer of there's nothing wrong with violence as long as it's controlled. It can't be out of control. You can't be out of control with it. It got to be controlled. Um, nothing wrong with being like when you look at martial arts, right? They don't train in real martial arts. They do not train you to fight. You see what I'm saying? Martial arts is to train your mind, body, and soul. See what I'm saying? And it'll give you the training will come with and it'll help you develop the discipline and self restraint to where you will only fight, you know what I'm saying, unless it's absolutely necessary. You're not going to be a bully with it. You're not going to be out of control with it. But the thing is you rather know, you know what I'm saying? It's like you rather know how to fight and not use it than to not know how to fight and need to use it. You know what I'm saying? So you want that skill. You just got to learn how to control it and be disciplined with that skill.
So D,
And
how did
I
you
agree.
sorry. Yep, how did you get that skill, D? What kind of training have you gotten behind guns?
No, for one, it is just I haven't taken any like tactical courses or nothing like that. I've always been a fairly calm under pressure type of individual. I don't want to go into specifics as far as street shit, but one of my nicknames used to be Too Cool because I never got rattled when shit would literally pop off. So I've always been a calm and cool individual in violent situations. My
And no
personality.
professional training though behind it, huh?
No, I've never had any professional. Like I said, just a lot of gun range stuff, but no courses. I know of some courses. I work with some cats. They've done some straight up tactical courses, week long tactical courses, and they've told me about it and stuff like that. So I've been thinking about doing it because I think it'd be interesting. I think it'd be a challenge and fun. So I've been thinking about doing one though.
So I've done so many of them. I'm the whole opposite. I'm the type of person that would take all the classes and not have no real personal history behind it. So and that's my whole thing. I'll do all the classes, and so even corrections teaches you how to do that in case they put you in the tower. You go in the tower in case there's a riot or the offenders take over the prison. And then even then, they only require that I don't know. It's not a 9. The 9 is what they give you when you're in the lobby in the front area of the prisons. But when you're in the tower, it's only a shotgun that they give you. They don't give you like a pistol or a rifle, because a rifle will require you to know how to pinpoint somebody from a far distance, and half them people ain't that skilled. So shotguns, basically that's a household item. That was my next to do to get, as opposed to an AR or anything like that. I personally don't see the use in ARs. AR is for mass killings, because anything that has 30 clip, you doing more than a home invasion. You trying to pulverize somebody. You have to empty 30 rounds in one person, you're excessive, and you need to go do some psychological stuff. That's my opinion. But yeah, as far as like a shotgun goes, that's all they have in the towers, and that's the next thing I'm looking for, because you really don't have to be a good aim for that, because they use buckshots. Am I right?
Yes, I prefer slugs, but yeah,
Okay.
buckshots. They spread and everything, but I like slugs personally. Yeah, but yeah, I don't have an AR because for home defense. I like knives. I've collected knives since I was a kid. Samurai swords, I love them. I got all that. In a home, I would do probably a 9 and a knife in a home. You don't need nothing big, and I dang sure wouldn't use no shot. Well, not none of my shotguns that I got with slugs in them, because they're gonna go through walls. But
Okay.
yeah, so and even you know, because I got all type of bullets too. You know, when you in the
Yeah.
home, you want when you in the home, you want to use hollow points.
Yes.
Be You don't want to use full metal jackets because they're gonna go through the walls and hit whatever else might be on the other side of the wall.
And
So
that's for apartments specifically, right?
right, exactly for apartments specifically. So yeah, so like I said, I got all type of different bullets loaded and stuff, but I got certain clips and whatnot. Just with hollows. I got some with just with full metal jackets. Uh, so it just all depends on the application.
Kia, do you think that you could hit a moving target?
Yeah. But see, that's the thing, because see, what I'm not trying to ever do is set myself up to be going down for somebody's homicide. So I'm gonna hit you because clearly you're coming at me. So yeah, I'm gonna hit you. You're gonna run into it.
So like if I like sidestep, duck and rolled and did a jump, you could hit me.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how far away you are.
No, if he's coming at me, I'm definitely gonna hit him.
No, we talking about how far away that person is, though.
Well, it's home defense, right? My place
But
is not that big.
yeah, but that's assuming home defense. So are you talking about, Stu? Are you talking about moving targets like you sitting in the living room, somebody come in?
Yeah. Because I mean, otherwise, like you have a lot of options to escape. Like if I'm just outside, you know what I mean, and somebody's coming at me shooting, like I could probably get away if you're far enough. But I'm saying like in the house, yeah, in the house. Like if I'm, you know what I mean, ducking and dodging, or if it's dark, right, and like, because that's also another factor, right? Like if you don't have the right home, you know what I mean, like environment, and it's dark, how are you gonna know where you shooting?
You better listen for where they're at, and
Right.
all your senses have to be aware when you're shooting and stuff.
Or you just set your house up to where you do have angles of everywhere.
Or you're not in no dark places, because I mean, sometimes you'll know when something's awry or something ain't right.
I feel like if somebody came in here, I would want it to be dark in here.
Yeah,
I know in here and you don't.
I would prefer it dark because you're gonna trip over something. You know what I'm saying? I can get through my house blind, go through my house blind if I need to.
And
You know,
sometimes that it happens so fast. So home invasions would be, and I mean, probably the probability is probably low, but it happens. And then if it does happen, it could probably do with your lifestyle. I was dealing with somebody, girl back in the day, and she had stole something from somebody in the neighborhood, and they was looking for her, so they would stay right on the side of my building. So I was coming out with my kids. I had my youngest was still in her month, so she was in the car seat I was carrying, and he didn't came around the corner with his, and that's when I was non-gun carrying, so I could just talk him off the ledge. But that was the closest to like a home invasion, and thank God he caught her at somebody else's house, because he was staking my house out, and
So,
and there was nothing I could do.
damn, that's tough. So I'm curious for those who don't own guns and maybe are interested. What is the process from beginning to end of owning a gun?
There's no one way to skin a cat.
well, you just go to the store and buy one, or go online and buy one. If you do it online, you gotta send it to have the gun shipped to a FFL dealer. You know what I'm saying? Gun shops, pawn shops. And then once the gun gets in, they'll call you, and then you come down there and you'll do the background check, all the paperwork. Depending on how busy they are, the background check, you can get it, 20, 30 minutes. The COVID set some stuff back, so sometimes you'd have to come the next day. But that's literally it.
So if you go to a gun shop, you still have to fill out the background, right? And you get it on the spot, or do you gotta you can
Yeah.
get it right there. And now
Yeah,
now
it might
and
take 30 minutes.
say it again.
So it might take 30 minutes to run the background. It's just depending on how busy the CBI is.
And
And
then who can buy a gun?
legally,
Shit.
only
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
non-felons
I'm
and
talking about,
people
yeah.
without mental disorders. But another way that you can is you can actually go to a range and you can rent different guns to see which one you like.
Now, also on top of that, people with domestic violence convictions, uh,
Oh yeah,
they
that's a big one.
yeah, they lose their Second Amendment right, even if it's a misdemeanor. If it's anything domestic violence related, that's gonna make you fail the background.
Is that one of the ones that sticks with you no matter what? Like if you get charged, but then like it runs out or you get acquitted, is it one of the ones that sticks, or they'll give it back to you for domestic
Yeah, no,
violence?
it's all about a conviction. It's not based on arrest. It's all about convictions. Yeah.
But I mean, we're all talking about following the law. When most people don't, there's a lot of people that carry guns and they don't follow the law, and then they don't go to the range and they're not knowledgeable and stuff. So I mean, if there's a will, there's a way. If you have any of those restrictions that will prevent you from getting one legally, you can still obtain a weapon.
So is we gonna talk about that part, or are we not gonna talk about that part?
No, we're
Oh,
definitely
we
gonna talk
talking
about that
about
part.
all of it.
Yeah, we're definitely talking
Okay.
about. Not right now though. We're not ready for that. I got a couple more questions because I'm as people. I think because I even though I'm not a gun owner, I do think that it's important for people to know how to purchase guns, how to own them, and be responsible gun owners. And so I'm also curious about how do y'all store your guns?
Well, I don't have any kids, so my stuff. I mean, I got a gun safe. That safe might be locked. It might be open. Hell, I'm looking at my Glock right now on my dresser. I mean, so you know, I got guns all over the place. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
on multiple levels in my house. So
And that's a
Man,
good question, Stu. Just to answer it, that's a very good question because everything is contingent on where you put your weapons. They have all these safes that you can put it up and hide them and stuff, but the problem will come is if you have all your stuff stored away in your safe, away from so kids can't get in stuff, and then somebody runs in your house. So same thing with cars. People were having problems. The gun is in a safe underneath the car seat, your driver's side, and then someone jacks you and you can't get to your gun fast enough. So most people don't worry about really putting their guns away unless they have a large amount. Most people like just worry about safeties on the gun. Like one of my guns has a safety and one doesn't. So it's like ready to go. Like you got to make split decisions during those times. Like things can happen so fast. Your response time and that fight or flight don't come into play, you're not going to be able to access the stuff that you put up. So most gun owners I talk to, they have a whole car chamber underneath their steering wheel for easy access. And they have one in the chamber and they don't have the safety on. Like they are ready for real, for real.
how
Yeah.
about you, Kia? How do you store yours?
Well, I keep the AR in the safe. I keep the AR in the safe because nobody uses that on a regular basis. You know what I mean? Like that would have to be something crucial. But my handgun, I do keep in my purse. Or if I don't have a purse, I keep it on my body. But it's always readily available. It's very close at any time.
Yeah, I know you keep. I remember one time we were together and you was like, "Yo, I need to transfer," and you pulled the gun out your bra. It was like, "Hold that real quick." Like, oh, okay. So we talked about storage, which seems to be a
I
very
have more
important thing.
storage
Like,
questions though.
go ahead.
So well, I don't know. D said he doesn't have kids. Kia, I think you said you did have kids. So my friend's husband has guns and they have little babies, and so we've talked about this. And even me thinking about in the future, I have a daughter, like whatever. So like, what's y'all's deal there? What's the alternative? Yeah, good job. What's the alternative there? Because just like what Don was explaining, you don't want it to be so locked down that you can't use it, because then what's the point? But also, I'm real tired of hearing of kids accidentally shooting themselves. And so some people say that the solution is to teach kids real early how to be safe with a gun. So like, what are y'all's thoughts?
That's my thought.
Yeah.
I definitely, my daughter was away when I purchased. And so when she came back, we did have the gun discussion. We pretty much got it down packed. It's pretty much taking the excitement away from them. If they're not curious and excited about it, then they kind of are not interested, type of thing. So yeah, I do have a daughter, and I do not have them on lockdown all the time.
Shit, if I did have kids, my kids would be gun proficient at 5 years old.
Period. So that's how I feel. Both of my
Facts,
daughters
facts,
have
facts.
shotguns, and I take them both to the range so they can get familiar with it. So even if you don't own a weapon, you want to go to the range and you want to know how it feels to have to shoot one. Anybody in their life should know how it feels to shoot a gun, because it's definitely not like what they be showing on TV.
No.
Yeah.
So I've seen video clips of, these white people in the South who are taking their 5-year-old daughters into the woods and doing these tactical trainings with their 5 and 6-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like, to the point where they're like, like I said, they're doing tactical training, and so it's not just a sitting target. So then, I'm curious. A couple things I have about that is like, are for the listeners or the audience, are there any tactical training groups that you're aware of, and what are the names? And do you think that, like, if, and I'll ask anybody on in the panel, are you hunters? And do you think that being like hunting animals would prep you better for like home invasions or insurrections or things like that?
No, I'm not a part of any gun organizations or anything like that, or gun groups or anything like that. Like I said, I was thinking about doing it. Going to get, take some tactical courses. But as of yet, no. And no, I am not a hunter. Not because I haven't had plenty of opportunity. I just don't really, you know, I just don't. I don't know. The sport of it ain't the sport of it for me. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people do it for sport. And I work with a lot of guys, small town rural folk that been hunting all their lives. And they talk about, the adrenaline and things like that. And I'm just like, you know, I don't see it, to be honest with you, because you're really not hunting. You're just shooting stuff. It's not like you're tracking animals for days at a time. You know what I'm saying? You're on. It's become so modernized and easy to do. You know, so especially with a high power rifle, you can hit something from. I know a guy. He said he hit a buffalo, elk from 700-800 yards away. Things like that. So I just don't see it. But then again, I ain't gonna say too much, but yeah, I don't see it. Once you've done certain things in your life, going to animals, it's one of those things where it's like, it's a defenseless animal. can't defend itself.
Me personally, I'm not a hunter.
Do you think it would prep you? Would you think it would prep you better for like a home invasion or insurrection if you were to do that on a regular basis?
No, because like I said, you can go to an outdoor range, you know, and get your practice in there. Because let's just be honest, when people go hunting, they're not hitting moving targets like that. These deer, these elk, they're standing still. You know, it ain't like they're running through the forest at 20 miles an hour and get shot.
John, have you ever gone hunting?
So I haven't went hunting. I'm actually aspiring vegan, so I don't eat a lot of things. I believe that animals are alive, and if you kill them and you eat their flesh when it's dead, it does things to your spirit. So I try not to eat meat. That's why my goal is to be vegan. But I know of people on a personal level, just from my career history, that that do it, and they don't do it for sport. They do it to live. Like, there are real life people, a large amount of real life people that are self-sustaining people, that are off grid people, that believe that the world is going to go backwards and that we'll lose our technology and stuff and be back in the Stone Age. And will you be prepared types people? And that's their motivation. They want to not just go to McDonald's to eat a burger. They want to learn how to kill the deer and skin the deer, cut the deer, live off of the deer, how to transport the deer, because if you go too far away from your vehicle and you kill a deer, how are you going to get that big thing back to your car type stuff? You're learning the different parts of the deer, how to preserve it, especially in different weather. And so those are those people that hunt. They hunt for those purposes. They eat everything. Like it wouldn't be beneficial for them to practice on an animal to be prepared for an insurrection, because it will be a waste. And then there's regulations in the world during hunting season where you can't just hunt for anything. You have specific time frames every season to hunt for different things, whether it be elk, deer, buffalo, rabbit, squirrel, all of them, everything, cantaloupe. I mean, not cantaloupe, but they're deer. Any of them, you just have to be ready.
Antelope.
Antelope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
antelope.
cantaloupe. I said so. All of those animals and species, and I've tasted almost all of them. If you do it, if you actually kill it yourself and you take it to a butcher and he cuts everything up for you, it's supposed to be cost effective, and that's only if you're like a meat eater. You know,
Not me. It's expensive these days. To process the meat is very expensive. It's
right?
not
So
even cost.
take it to a butcher whole and have them break it down for you. It costs a lot.
Well, in combination of getting all your gear together, you know, you know what I'm saying, getting all that gear together to go, you know, because you might have to be out there a couple days, you know what I'm saying, stay overnight and eat. So that whole, to do it over a weekend time, it doesn't make it cost effective.
True, but when you have a whole family, if y'all all go and break a deer down, that's where it comes into being more cost effective than just purchasing from the store. But like I said, that's a specific type of person. Everybody's not able.
Right.
No, that's a specific kind of person, and those people, you might think they just live up in the woods, and it ain't a lot of them. But those are the people that are trying to prepare for this thing I keep bringing up, the insurrection. Those are the people.
The zombie apocalypse.
Those are the people. Those are the people. When
Look,
you talk
we're
about
walking amongst them right now.
those are
We
the
are
people.
walking amongst them right now. So let's just talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
What were you gonna say, Stu?
Which part are we talking about? Sorry, I'm switching. We're talking about insurrection, or we're talking about illegal gun ownership?
No, well, hold on. Yeah,
whichever
I'm
avenue you want to
interested
go.
in gun ownership.
Because I didn't heard any.
I want to. Let me go back to what we were talking about, though. You know, because I do think it's important, like, a lot of people view gun ownership as self-preservation, right? And it's not just about protecting your life or your family's life. Some like Don was saying, some of it is about ensuring in the worst case scenarios that you would be able to feed your family, right? And I know those are really extreme scenarios, but to be honest with you, if we talk about zombie apocalypse, if we're getting to that point, we're probably going to have to get to a point where we're actually hunting and getting our own food, right? It's going to become, because who's going to want to go to a store where there could be a zombie apocalypse? Like, I'm not going to go to, that's where, if I was a zombie, that's the first place I would go. I'm about to go to the grocery store, eat everybody up who come in here. Yeah, I mean, this is good for the so. But I also think that the self-preservation piece is really important to highlight because, I think Black people are not prepared for the worst, right? We're so afraid of just dying on a police stop, or we're just so afraid of somebody coming into our home. We think that gun ownership stops there, but it could have some level of being able to provide for our families. And I think that we have to look at gun ownership in a different vantage points. And I think that's important to remember, that it's not just about, somebody taking somebody out if they come and get you. Like, if we get to those places where we need to, and again, that's only if you eat land animals, because they're still fishing. There's still other ways of getting food. You can be a gardener, you know what I mean? And so
Hmm.
you can have chickens and so on and so forth. And that's not, so I want to be also mindful of that. But like, I don't really know anything about zombie apocalypse or how people actually are geared up mentally to deal with stuff like that. But I'll defer to anybody else to speak on that.
I do have something that I would like to show you guys when we talk about being killed by the police. There was an incident that took place. I don't know if you guys are aware. Ozone Wallace.
No.
Yeah. So Ozone was, well, I should just let you hear the story. That's what I should do. Okay. Sorry, I interrupted, but I just thought about that when he said that. I'm not really a hunter myself, so yeah, I don't even like to hit roadkill. So I don't think I would be able to feed myself with
But
that
you wish a
much.
nigga would.
I do wish a nigga would, because a nigga probably gonna do more damage than one of them damn animals.
And she
Because
ain't
I'm not in
killing the
their
nigga to eat.
habitat.
She's not killing the nigga to eat the nigga.
That's right. Okay, I'm gonna try to find this video. So hold on a second. I mean, you guys can keep going, but hold on a second.
So we can talk about, because I wanted to bring up. I always think about this on larger scales because the people that I know, if I was to do statistics just on based on the people I know of all races and colors, hands down, the majority of the people that are like D, that have multiple, that have a little arson, are not African American. And also, Stu, I just wanted to throw out, because you asked, does anybody know of any organizations? NAGA, National African American Gun Association, they're nationwide. They have chapters out here and they teach classes as often as they can organize them. I was a part of the Ozone Gun Club, and at one point in time, I was a prominent member, and we had about 9 members with us that were all new to guns or versing, and we all when we started to go as a group to the Cherry Creek facility, it was so messy. It was so messy. They banned us because one of the guys who was white said that we made a comment about killing crackers or something. And we didn't say nothing like that, but they was just messy. They were starting stuff. And I tried to have us all have a sit down. I tried to talk to their management and use my management, but the guy that was over Ozone Gun Club, he was a young Black dude and kind of hot headed and really wasn't interested in sitting at the table to have a conversation with the people over the Cherry Creek. So they ended up saying we weren't welcome there anymore because of that. So and we just stopped going there. But they ended up telling other gun ranges, because I went to another one, which was Blue Core, and Blue Core mentioned that they knew who we were, Ozone Gun Club, and I was like, how do you know who we are? Like, they heard from Cherry Creek Range that, there was a situation with us. So they were trying to label our organization as something of what they are, like we're not to be controlled and things like that. So they tried to blackball us, and we ended up falling apart within each other. So it's a moot point, but we were under the National African American Gun Association.
Yo, that's dope. Thank you for sharing that. I'm also curious then that you brought that up. Are there any black owned gun ranges?
In Colorado,
Ooh, not that
Yeah.
I know.
Now that would be
Maybe
dope.
we should, yeah, maybe we should think about something like that.
they're a tight knit community. When you talk about being under, because the NRA is the NRA, and they still are not supportive of a lot of black organizations. So NAGA was created because the NRA is not supportive. So the last I heard, and it's a guy named King, and he's over this division, that's this section of Colorado. I have not taken a class from him, but like I said, he's the over the division, like multiple areas: Denver, Colorado Springs, and two other areas. And I haven't been able to get with him personally, but he knows a lot of people that are in the organization and do things that are trying to start open up a gun range, because there are differences. There's outside gun ranges and there's inside gun ranges. Inside is limited. You can't try to shoot everything because you're inside. Outside is more for people who are ready for tactical, what you were talking about, Stu, moving targets, things like that. Um, but I haven't heard anyone actually be successful at opening it up. But it was being talked about.
Yeah, that would be dope. So now, maybe not in Colorado. Have you ever been to a black owned gun range outside of Colorado?
No, because I don't want to take my gun outside of Colorado. You can, but I mean, if you get on the flight and you put it in your stuff, it has to be totally dismantled. And, there's so many steps to traveling. You could mail your gun ahead. Like, say you're going to South Carolina, you can mail it to your people before you get there, but, or drive down there and driving with it in your car. It's just, it's a lot. Am I right, D?
Well, I've always found it pretty easy and simple to put it in with your check bag. All you got to do when you're getting your ticket and checking in your check bag, you got to declare a firearm. They'll make you fill out a little card, stick it in the case. It has to be unloaded. I've never had to disassemble the gun. I just had to have the magazine removed. Of course, no bullets in the chamber, anything like that. Um, the only thing one time I had to do, then they'll send you around the TSA. They'll send it through a scanner, and that's that. I know one. I forget what airport I was in. One airport made me take the bullets out of the clip. It wasn't enough for the clip to be out of the gun. They did make me remove the bullets out of the clip. But other than that, I've never had an issue traveling with it.
Was that recent?
No, I probably haven't traveled with my guns in about 4 years, I'd say.
Because
I
they
haven't
had
traveled.
an incident, that one in Texas at the airport, where the guy assembled his gun after he picked his bag up from baggage claim and
Yep.
shot all those people in the baggage claim area.
Yeah, I remember that, and I was still traveling with my gun at that time, and like I said, I didn't have
Uh,
to disassemble it. Yeah.
Okay, must got misinformation because I thought after that they changed it to where you just can't like they want you to not be able to access your weapon after you pick it up from baggage claim like that.
Well, this is the thing, right? If you got a revolver, you know what I'm saying? What you gonna do with that? Take the cylinder out. That's all you can
Right,
do to disassemble it. I mean,
right,
but even if you were to disassemble a gun, I mean, all you're gonna do, say for a Glock, you're just gonna take the slide off, the barrel off, the spring out, and the clip out.
right,
That's all you can disassemble, really, without
right,
tools, without having any tools.
right.
But that's so easy to put back together. I mean, you can literally put it back together in 60 seconds, maybe
Well,
2 minutes
no, you are
max.
being presumptuous. That's for someone that's skilled like yourself. It takes
Well,
me a
I think
minute to put mine back together. I've only cleaned my gun twice, and
really. Oh
it was
wow.
longer
Okay.
than 60 seconds.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the first thing I do with guns. I break them down, put them back together, break it down to where, you know, if you ever need to just break it down quickly or put it back together quickly. I mean, it's plus. But my thing is, Glocks are fairly easy. Glocks are pretty simple.
D is
Gun.
talking from an experienced place of view.
I
Yeah,
mean, but yeah,
D's in the dark closet with some blindfolds. You know what I mean? Taking
Right.
apart guns and putting them back together on
He's some
on one
007.
leg. Yeah.
D is
I have
007.
not done that yet.
Forrest,
I have not
Forrest
done
Gump.
that yet.
Stu, let me tell you, Stu. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you just like this that when you are disassembling and reassembling your gun, it takes a minute to learn those parts and assemble it correctly. And you're doing that so you can clean it. Why are you cleaning it? So that it doesn't jam on you. Because if you are that's the last thing you want is to not be in a situation for 5 years and have a gun that's put up and it gets dusty and then you pull it down and do something and it jams on you. And you don't want that. That's why I would like to bet that D likes revolvers because revolvers will not jam.
Quick and easy. You know what I'm saying? Not only
They only
that,
have
but
7 things, and you could get preloaders for the 7 bullets, and you can get certain bullets that will be more impactful than other bullets. But yeah, revolvers they'll never jam on you, so you don't have to worry about that. That's why a lot of people use them.
See, I'm good with that. Like, and so I'm interested when you talked about the guy who reassembled his gun and the baggage claim and shot up those people. Was that just a regular handgun? Can you travel with assault rifles?
oh yeah, you could
So,
travel
so
with
that's
anything.
see, that's where I'm like, because like you can take out a lot of people with assault rifle. With a
Hmm.
revolver, you got six to seven bullets, and you got a few people you can hit, and then by the time you try to reload, it's a wrap for you.
Unless you have a preloader,
But you still ain't getting a lot of people with no
right?
revolver though. You ain't
So that's
taking
why
out.
Colorado banned assault rifle 30 clips. So you can't have a clip that has 30 rounds in it. Supposedly, there are still people that have it from grandfathering, having them in the past, but now it's no more than 15 or 16 in the clip.
There's a loophole.
Uh,
There is a loophole.
I
what's the
thought it was
loophole,
10.
grandfather?
No, not the grandfather.
That's legal. 10
Yeah,
is legal.
the loop where I get some of my guns from. They selling 100 round clips out here. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Now you know that ain't legal.
and they were telling me that there was a loophole in the law to where I forget the specifics, but they were just saying there's a loophole in the law. But he was saying that I was like, well, shoot, why does some gun stores not sell high capacity magazines? He was like, well, they probably just don't want the headaches of having to deal with the government if they come. But he was like, we know the law, we know the loophole, we dealt with legislators. And so that's why we keep selling these high, you know what I'm saying? So we ain't stopping selling these high capacity magazines. He was like, they're going to have to change the law, and it's going to take some time to do that.
Wow.
We have an ammo shortage here too.
Oh yeah,
Sad.
the ammo shortage is big time out here.
That's
Big time.
another thing, you guys. So after the change in presidency, I read or I learned, I watch the news a lot, and they said that there has been an up spike in gun sales. So when Trump lost the election, there was such a spike that and Kia can attest to this. If you go to get a gun right now, especially online, you could be waiting 6 months. Ammo is
Dispatch
actually,
is dumb.
huh?
It's dumb. I don't like because it's our Second Amendment right to have them. It's hard to get them here, but like other places, it's not hard. Like you don't have to
No,
wait long periods
it's
of
not
time.
hard.
I
You
have a
do
question.
wait.
So I just came from Panama, right? And
Mhm.
I was walking through the mall. And I realized they sell them at Walmart too, but you got all these checks and balances. Does anybody know? Does anybody do this international travel? We were in the mall and I was like, oh, look, there's a gun. And I was like, could I just walk in there? Like, if I were a citizen, which I might be, but like, could I just walk in there and buy one and then fill out the paper like Dee said and put it in my bag and bring it home? Like, would it be easier to take your passport to another country to buy your gun and bring it back?
I'm not
Well,
really for sure about international purchase.
I don't know about international purchases. I'm not familiar with that. I've never tried to take my gun internationally.
I think it
Yeah.
would be easier because they have different rules and laws in different countries. Like different countries, the age is younger. In different countries, they have different reasons for why they use weapons a lot more, because I'm going to say that some third world countries, or countries that have more corruption, or more vigilantes, or more people that are ready to be on their own, they can get weapons a lot easier, so their rules aren't as strict. So a lot of
They're
know how
pretty
to use.
strict. Well, from what my understanding, because I've been to Panama 4 times. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought, and even in Dominican Republic, I've been there 4 times. Is my understanding that you would need to be at least a permanent resident to own a gun, maybe even a citizen. You would have to get citizenship. You
Maybe
know.
people that I've never been to Panama, but the people who I've talked to that have went on cruises and stuff like that, when they get to places and they like a weapon, they haven't told me that they've had any problem like purchasing and having it mailed back to the States.
Oh, now that's different. That's different. Purchasing it and mailing it back to the States, as opposed to purchasing it and have it on your person while you down
Right.
there.
You can't have it
Yeah,
on your person. You might be able to put it in your luggage, but I don't know anything about
yeah,
international.
you might be able to mail it out from different countries, but I don't think they'd want you to have it on you while you're a tourist in their country. You know what I'm saying? Just have it accessible to
Right.
you.
No, and I should have said that. That was a good point, Don. I should have said also to mail it back. I really meant more the purchase of it, because if we're talking about it's hard to
Right.
buy one in the States, it ain't hard to get a passport. So if you get a passport and go buy one somewhere else and ship it to yourself, is that gonna be faster for you?
Right.
So, that's a funny thing, kid. Like, I order guns online all the time. I've never had I ordered some guns, 2 or 3 guns, maybe about 3, 4 months ago online. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. Got
Not now,
open.
no, but
You didn't have to wait a long time.
when the pandemic hit, it was definitely hard to get them.
Oh yeah,
It
when
took
the
forever.
pandemic hit, yeah, I'm sure. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
So
But we
I
still
got a
have an ammo
question, right?
shortage.
So I got a question for you, D. Not just D, but the gun owners. Because D, you talking about you just ordering guns and guns and guns and guns, man. Like I like, yo, you ain't got no kids, so maybe that's why you can afford all these guns. But like, how much is like give me a range, a price for a gun?
700.
Uh, no, I
I think
mean,
it
shoot.
depends. You have to shop.
It,
You have to shop.
man, I'll tell you what. This old white dude I used to work with, he retired. He was like, man, because I was asking him about what kind of gun to get, what some good guns. This was maybe 15 years ago. He was like, It don't matter. Just get as many as you can. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you can afford, get as many as you can.
So wait, so
Well,
a shotgun is what? Well, how much is a shotgun on average?
It depends. Like I said, you can get shotguns as low. I've seen shotguns, 4+1, 5+1 round shotguns for as little as $199 and up. You start
So
getting into the tactical joints, you can pay easy over $1,000 for a shotgun.
so AR
so what's the range? Okay. So a handgun is like $100, $200?
It depends on what kind of handgun you want. You can get a cheap ass high point, 9mm high point for $150. I mean, they got guns that go. They got Colt 1911s that go for $4,000, $5,000. I mean, there's literally a gun for any price range. Any price range.
now bullets
How
don't cost as much.
No.
how much was your AR, Kia?
I got a good deal. I got it for $6.
Is that's really good? Like how much would it have
It's
been
really good
without the
because
good
I had to
deal?
have it. I had to have it shipped, and I had to go through the dealer and all of that. So that was a really good deal I got.
How much would it have been without the deal though?
I don't know because I seen it and then, but now if you go look it up now, it's like 800. So I think it just depends on the demand.
I had a friend who actually financed an AR. I think it was like $1,500.
No, I'm not financing. No, I'm not gonna do that. But
Yeah, you have to. There's so
Mate,
many different things you have to do. Like if you get robbed and somebody steals your guns or whatever, you're supposed to report them and have them registered and stuff, so that that gun, wherever it's at right now, if it ends up being dirty, it won't lead back to you, and you'll have a police report that says it was stolen and stuff like that. So
So
that's
so should all guns be registered then? Like once you purchase them, you're saying that you should register all guns.
you should, but it's not required. But just in case it ends up being in a situation where someone takes it from you and they use it on someone, you won't be implicated, or that it won't track back to you. You'll be cool because you reported it already.
well, I mean, as long as you got your receipt and everything like that with the serial numbers, if your gun if it's unregistered, you can still go report it stolen as long as you got the serial number to it. I'm personally not a big fan of registering guns,
Right.
but yeah,
I'm not either. All I know is that I'll report it. So if it gets sold or something like that,
right,
just report
yeah, definitely do that. And don't purchase guns for people.
right. Yeah.
It's not a good idea.
it. Please
Um,
don't.
it's illegal. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
illegal, right? To do that?
It
yeah.
is illegal, most definitely. And then if
Yeah.
they go and do some bullshit, guess who they're coming to get?
Yep.
Not them.
It will
Well,
be
they'll
a
find them later, but they're coming to get you.
Yep. Just like if somebody's a booster and you drive them to the location, if they get caught, you can get caught too, just for driving them there. You'll be an accomplice.
Yeah.
The rules, the rules, the rules.
So we need to talk about this insurrection.
Okay, wait, can I play? Let me play this because I finally found it.
Okay.
Okay, this should be interesting. Okay, hold on. Um,
Can we cover the beginning of it while you getting it? Oh, you already got it.
Okay. Ready?
Fair use.
We can't hear her, Kia.
Okay, I was trying to check it to see. Can't hear it?
Nah.
Is the volume mute on?
Not on here now. Let's see.
That's
I have no idea how to do it.
BTX, y'all. I used to braid her hair.
Let's see. I don't know how to get the sound.
Is that volume mute? Oh, that's not.
Mm,
Is your volume up on your computer?
it is.
Because it's different types of volumes. So if
Still
you
no?
click, yeah, if you
No.
click, it'll show all the different areas that you want the volume to go up on.
I don't know how to do it. There has to be a way for me to do it though. Here.
Is this the lady talking about apocalypse? Or
No,
the zombie apocalypse?
no. It's still, we don't talk about that because you keep bringing up zombie apocalypse.
Oh. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I got a whole theory for you because
I've been working on my hand-to-hand combat.
right. So look, zombie apocalypse. They all believe in it. And when I say they, I mean the group of
Screen
people
sharing is easy as with 2 monitors.
who are what do you
Sharing
call
the screen works best on the computer.
doomsdayers. D, I don't know if you're a doomsdayer.
No.
Okay. So doomsdayers are the ones that have the bunkers and they're preparing, and there are so many of them in the world, and most of them are QAnon theorists or whatever, and they really are a lot of them out there. Every place that I used to do security at night, especially in Colorado Springs and up here, most of them are conspiracy theorists like that. They all have bunkers. They all have armories. They all are ready. They're ready for the zombie apocalypse. They are ready for if anybody tries to take over the government, and then most of all, they're ready to take over the government themselves. Like,
Should we
it's crazy.
not be prepared like that?
Yeah, we should.
We should, but historically, we don't. I don't think we have it in our culture's ability to be on that level. Because even D, the stuff that he has, he's not a conspiracy theorist, so he
Well,
still
well,
stands out.
well. I wouldn't say all that. I got my certain conspiracy theories, but not to that level.
Not about no zombies.
Right.
You don't watch too many shows, and I watch every zombie movie out there. I will watch it. Okay?
I love zombie movies. I love zombie movies. But yeah.
Yeah, but you're
Okay.
not like waiting for everybody who got the COVID vaccine to turn. Are
Okay.
you?
Right.
No,
I
but we
got.
should have bunkers though. We should have ammunition. We
So
should have like,
what?
man, we
No,
should
hold on. Go back.
worst
No,
case
go back.
scenario.
Go back. No. Go back. Because why though? So straight up, like when Trump was at his
Open a new
craziest,
Chrome tab.
is when
Drop
people
video.
Kim, mute
is
until
working so
you're
hard.
ready.
When Trump was at his craziest, I was like, okay, what's the worst case here? And like, could there be some like US is gonna become a wasteland and you gonna need to fight your way out? Do I think that could happen? Yes. I don't think it's gonna happen in my lifetime. So that's number one. Number two, in terms of the US becoming a wasteland, like you can't buy no food, you can't do this, you can't do that. I'm 32. The odds I'm gonna live another 150 years, like I just don't think it's gonna happen. That's number one. Number two, though, in terms of like a bunker, like, do I think we need a go bag? Sure. I mean, I live in Oklahoma. There are tornadoes. My house could get wiped out anytime. You need a go bag. Do you need a bunker? Because like you're not gonna be able to go nowhere and get no food. Like, why? Under what circumstance? Under what circumstance can you not drive 500 miles south or 500 miles north or 500 miles east or west
Can
and
I
get what
say
you need?
something? Can I tell her?
Now hold on. Let me jump in. Look. Cause we saw. So Naja, you're acting like we haven't saw that. COVID-19 showed us how scarce food can get for people. Yes, it did. Where we were at, it sure did. That you could not get certain things at a store. That was a reality.
Okay,
That was a
what I'm
reality.
saying is, how hard would it have been for you to jump in your car and drive down here? Because food was never that scarce down here. Never. Not at any point. So, like, you're going to create a bunker instead of just coming to Oklahoma? Why?
No, Nigel, let me tell you. I'll
I
tell
don't
you
know. Cause what if
exactly
you don't know
why.
nobody in Oklahoma?
No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because the United States is at the top, but most of every country in this world has atomic bombs. They have nuclear weapons. They are able to blow stuff up.
There's about 10 countries, I think, that are nuclear capable. 10 or
It's
12.
India, it's Russia, it's China.
And when has it happened to us?
It has not happened, but you'd be scared
I
to
don't
know
mean
how
it can't.
close it could. And that,
like I said, why, under what circumstances? Because even when Trump was at his craziest, didn't nobody bomb us. So like,
No.
but we're not going to war anytime soon. Like, it's not gonna happen.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
You don't know. You don't know. It's better be prepared. Is all. Maybe hopefully it doesn't happen, but it's better to be prepared.
This is the beginning. Right now, look at what's happening in Cuba. Look at what happened in Haiti. This is the beginning.
My preparation is my passport. If shit pop off in the U.S., I'm putting us on a plane and we rolling out. Like I don't understand.
But it's not gonna be that easy though.
Think like you. That's like saying you're gonna get in the car and get on I-70 and leave. Everybody's gonna think like you, and y'all gonna be in gridlock on the highway waiting to leave.
Everybody ain't got a passport, so I ain't fighting everybody. You think everybody ain't got a passport.
You don't think that they would ground? You think they don't ground airplanes if some shit is really getting like they'll ground airplanes? Like we've seen it for a virus.
They grounded airplanes when 9/11 happened.
Yes, they did.
The only airplane that got up out of here was Bin Laden's family.
Yep.
So the problem that I have is y'all are taking all of these things that happen. None of them happened all at the same time. And in order for you to need a bunker, they all have to happen at the same time.
No, so they don't.
Yes, they do. In order, like y'all are saying food was scarce in Denver. I'm telling you, food was never scarce in Oklahoma. So you had to hop down 2 states. I guarantee you it wasn't scarce in Kansas either. You had to hop down 1 state. Like the problem is y'all wanted to stay put, which I mean it's fine, stay home, that's cool, but you ain't have to stay home. You could come down here and there was food here. There was food in Texas.
But let me tell you, all that we're talking about, Nigel, all that we're talking about is for preparation. Like, you don't want to get caught slipping.
But let me ask you, but let me just throw this in here. The United States have built bunkers since the Cold War. All type of nations build underground bunkers
Yes.
for nuclear situations, for invasion situations. So if nations, governments can do this, why wouldn't we take a little hint from the government as the little people and maybe prepare to some level, to some degree?
Because if something pops off, they're coming for the president. They're not coming for me. They don't know who the fuck I am.
No.
They're coming for everybody.
Overthrowing a
You
nation
are
is not
funny,
about the
girl. I said, you are
They're
funny.
coming for everybody.
They're
Okay,
called
I think I figured it out.
war.
I think I figured it out. Okay, let's try.
That's what we're called. When they kill a civilian, we're called casualties of war.
But what I heard online is that Ozone had threats that had been coming to his phone. They don't have his phone, though, because his phone was with him, right? So the police actually have the phone. So he was getting threats from people. Some of them they believe to be like FBI. I don't know why. Maybe it has everything to do with going on with, the case with Jay. I don't know. But he felt that there were people threatening him and watching him. I don't know why he felt that way, but this is a statement that his wife had made. So you're sitting in your car. My understanding is from the people that know him. This is where he lives. He was getting the fuck out of his car to go in his house to get ready for work. He was trying to go to work. He wasn't trying to kill nobody. He wanted to go in the house. He didn't want to be in jail today, I'm sure, having to cut his dreads off and be on the run and be dealing with all of this shit. He got kids to raise. So we're not going to act like he was sitting in his car waiting for the moment to shoot a cop. That doesn't even make any sense. And just because he quicker on the draw don't make him a bad guy, because a lot of these cops is shitty at their motherfucking training. So don't get mad because some of these people that own guns, they have the right to practice their Second Amendment right, go to the range constantly, and they're a better shot than you, motherfucker. See, remember, police aren't taught to be skilled at what they do. They just start to shoot center mass. They go through a little bit of training and they don't do much. This is why you have cops that are fat as fuck and they won't chase your ass. They'll shoot you down because they have no stamina to run. So trust me. Don't make him a bad guy because he won the situation. Maybe he was just a little bit more skilled. You shouldn't have been fucking with a black man for nothing. Now they keep saying that they rode up on him because the car was suspicious. But what's suspicious? What is suspicious? He's a black man in a car all by himself. He's not even dressed in all black or no hoodie like he's scoping nothing out. He lives at the motherfucking complex. This is where he lives. He's getting out of his car to go into his apartment and you say he looks suspicious. I'm tired of this suspicious shit. Statistics will tell you that black people, this is not I'm not making this up. Statistics will tell you that black people are profiled and seen as suspicious more than anywhere else, than anybody else. These are facts. This is why they talked about the stop and frisk shit that was in New York, because they were saying that it was racially biased and that black people were being stopped and frisked more than anybody else. Statistics will tell you that at the end of the month, police officers have to meet quotas, like for traffic tickets and shit, right? And so they have to pull people over. It has been a proven fact that they will pull black people over before anybody else to give them tickets. So they will find shit wrong with your car just to come fucking with you. These are facts. I'm not making this stuff up. So black people are harassed and racially, with people's biases, they are targeted in that racial bias all the time by the police. So first of all, my question would be, what gives this officer the right just to come with this man out of the blue while he's minding his business? Why is that okay? Suspicious? What was suspicious? He's not committing any crime. Why don't you leave people the fuck alone, officer? Nobody's fucking with you. But again, Ozone apparently, the word is he has been getting texts and threats from people. He don't know where they coming from. So the officer pulls up on him. He's like, yo, watch the video. If you haven't seen the video, it's everywhere. Go watch the video. Google Othal Wallace and go and watch the video. Okay? When Ozone goes to close his door, like, nigga, I'm about to go in the house. Like, you're not finna hit me up, keep putting your hands on me. He closes the door like he wants to walk away. When he doesn't sit down like the officer tells him, he just closes the door. He's saying, you know what? He's not really being aggressive. He just said, what's the problem? Like, what's wrong? What's going on? Why you asking me why I'm living here? Then the officer says, Charlie 777. I think he says it 3 times, but he says Charlie 7. Okay? To me, the normal ear is just going to, in the very least, think that he's calling for backup. Yes? He's calling for backup, right? So now you're asking me, why the fuck am I sitting in this parking lot in my car where I live? You're not even telling me what I'm doing wrong. And now you're calling for backup. Now, I'm not sure. I would like if somebody could correct me and tell me different. But somebody told me today that Charlie 7 means dead body or dead person. I said, is it really? Before you say this, so I went to Google, everybody. You go to Google too. And I went and I looked at the scanner codes for Florida police. There is no code for 777, right? There's a code for like 07 or 107, which means out for lunch. There's another, they all mean like stupid stuff, like out for lunch, away from our radio, shit like that, right? That has like 107 or 07. It has other things in front of it. You cannot find a 777 on the chart, but you do find 7 by itself, and 7 means dead body or dead person. Charlie is asking for, basically, it is a term for assistance. I got this off of the police site. I'm telling y'all what I found. I don't know all of the ins and outs of this case. I'm just telling you what I've heard online over the past couple of days, okay? So it does mean that. So I would just say, if Ozone was getting threats, which I don't know, this is what I've heard, and he felt that he was being targeted and watched and harassed by what might have been law enforcement based on his interactions with militias, and then an officer rolls up, and then you hear him say Charlie 7, go watch the video. Maybe Ozone knew what that meant. Why would the officer be calling that out? There's not a dead body at the scene. Now, again, I didn't find 777 because he says it 2 or 3 times, but I don't know if he's just repeating the 7 because he wants them to get what he's saying. But there was nothing on there that says 777. So what does Charlie 777 mean? They talk in code. So what does that mean, Florida police? And for somebody to be like, well, how will Ozone know what that means? Well, when we're in the hood, we all know what when the police is standing around dead bodies and they calling codes, we know what those codes mean. Why the fuck you think you knew what 187 on the undercover cop was? Like, we know what these codes mean. But
Okay, so what do you guys think so far?
I haven't seen it.
Do you kind of know where it's going?
I mean, it sounds like what she's trying to say is Ozone heard the cop say dead body, which he felt like meant that the cop was premeditatedly intending to shoot him or kill him, so he shot first. That's what it sounds like she's about to say, if I'm foreshadowing.
You are absolutely correct, ma'am. So she's simply saying that everybody kind of gathered around the George Floyd thing. Like, they basically only gather if the person dies. Is it not okay to defend yourself towards a cop if he is intending to kill you?
That is your constitutional right. Yes.
So which one you want to talk about? I mean, we can talk about it from the gun standpoint. Like, so for me, when it comes to gathering behind something or rallying behind something, first off, I don't do it for a whole lot of reasons, and I've gotten a shit ton of backlash for the things that I did not rally behind publicly. So day in and day out, everything that I do is in my head for the benefit of Black lives and for the benefit of Black survival, striving, and Black thriving. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to be in the streets for every reason, because I'm just not going to be. So I think that the main reason that you can't expect people to come out in droves to defend Ozone's Second Amendment right to kill a cop, even if you could prove that that it was premeditated to shoot him or to kill him, is because there's too many ifs. Well, if this, well, if that, well, if there really were threats, well, if that, well, if that. George Floyd, there were no ifs. We watched him get murdered on camera. And do I think that's right? No. Do I believe in Second Amendment rights? Yes. Do I believe in self-defense? Yes. But you're never going to get people to, in mass, rally behind your hypothetical Second Amendment right to kill a police officer because you think he was going to kill you.
So I'm gonna pause for 1 second. Do you think that this would be a deterrent from cops taking the lives of our people?
Hell yeah.
If he was to go to trial and get off on self-defense?
Hell yeah.
Well, why would you not want to stand for
that? Me, or as a lawyer? If I'm a lawyer, I would defend that for sure. If I were in the legal space, absolutely. I mean,
us as a people, is kind of what I'm saying. Like us as a people.
Sign a petition, yeah. But I mean, what does that mean to stand for something? Like straight up. And I know that that's like a sidebar conversation, but like,
because why are we so quick to stand for them taking lives versus us saving our own lives?
But still, what does that mean to stand for? Because me saying that one thing is not fair and the same thing is not fair on either side, like, yeah, I said that both times. But what does it mean to stand for something? I don't be protesting in the streets for hardly any reason.
He didn't kill the cop. He didn't kill the cop. The cop is not dead yet, but he basically, the stance would be for him to get a fair trial.
But I'm saying, what is
the stance.
What do you want people to do though?
So I put up her video like that so you could see, because she has all the information there about how they're going about trying to get him a fair trial.
Everybody deserves a fair trial,
right?
But in this circumstance, he's not going to get one. Is that really going to happen? I mean, let's be realistic.
I mean, we could speculate all day, right? I mean, everybody is supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. We know that ain't always the case. The court of law is supposed to be indifferent or unbiased. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, let's just be honest. A lot of stuff don't even come down to whether you're guilty or not. It's just how good which lawyer can argue the best.
Hashtag Bill Cosby.
So it will probably be in a donation form then.
Well, Bill Cosby.
So no, it doesn't. Like, so here's the thing. What you're asking, what you're saying is that he deserves a fair trial, but the way that the legal system is set up as is, you have to go through a pre-jury, and cops are held to a different standard, right? Because they're in risk all the time, and so they don't hold them to the same standard as anybody else. And so meeting that bar becomes a lot harder. Him getting a fair trial, they still might not pick up the case, because under the way that is set up now for cops, it's not the same judgment. It's not the same trial.
Cops go through grand juries. That's what it's called. It's
that's what I'm trying. Yeah, exactly. They have to go through a grand jury, but you have to meet a certain bar that is not equivalent to everybody else. And so, what you're saying, he can get a fair trial. He could get a fair grand jury trial and still not go anywhere with it. And all I'm saying to you is that you have to make a bigger system change in order to get some fairness, right? And so this is not just about this case alone. You have to look at the legal system itself And so he's not going to get a fair trial. He's not, because the system was not designed for that to happen.
It's not.
So see, that's what I be saying. Like, it'd be backwards to me, because it's like, we'll protest and they do whatever they do, protest and act and do all the extra behind us actually dying. But the same fight is not there for someone who it was self-defense.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he defended himself. So why would there not be protests and stands for this man not allowing another cop to take yet another black life?
Again, it's the system. So, and in the way you look at stands, it's not about hitting the streets. It's not about petitions. A stand is making sure that we have more black cops, we have more black lawyers, we have more black judges, we have more black legislators. You need to have a bigger long range plan. This is not just about one case. He could lose that or he could win that and it's still not change the legal system, is what I'm telling you. We need to have long range plans.
Yes.
It's not, we can't just hit the streets and think that this was gonna, and that's it. Like, it's not gonna be it. It's not enough.
It's not. And
let me add let me add a piece that people forget. We remember the lawyers, we remember the judges, we remember the cops, but we forget the teachers and the principals and the people who have to keep people in school in order so that they can go do those jobs, right? Like, it takes a lot of studying. And how do you change laws? You get in positions to change laws. Like, you gotta, it's a whole long line of shit that's got to get done to change the system in order for this to be a thing. It's not,
and that's it.
Really,
and I'm just simply saying that I feel like this here should be the wake-up call. But because there is so much work to be done.
Let's be honest. With everything, I agree everything what Naja said, but I'm gonna throw this in there. With all that said, with the teachers, even the parent, my thing is, cops, more black cops, more black lawyers, more black judges. It ain't about that. It's about having more black judges that actually give a damn about black people. More black cops that actually, because a lot of these Negroes, these cooning ass Negroes, get in these positions, and they ain't trying to buck the system. They trying to get along so they can get along.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Get up in the system.
And that brotherhood is deeper. That brotherhood is deeper than their black community, right? Like, that's their brothers. And I listen, I get it, right? I don't agree with it, but I get it when somebody is, when you're putting your life on the line with someone else, whether they look like you or don't look like you have a deeper bond to that person than you do a black community that is not in the same positions of putting their life on the line. So I agree with you. And we're talking about a broken system. Well, we keep forgetting that the system was never meant to represent us.
Never.
That's what I'm saying. It ain't broken. It's working perfectly the way the
Right.
powers want it to work.
Right. For who intended it to work for. It's working great.
Exactly.
So I agree with everyone.
Kia,
I don't think we can modify anything. I think that the system is broken, meaning when he goes to court, they're going to do everything we all know by heart by now what they're going to do. They're going to look at the case. They're going to see if it was manslaughter, if it was premeditated. They're going to look and see if he was aware that the man was a cop. From what I saw in the video, he was it shows the video shows he was being in the process of being arrested. So if the cop was getting ready to do something to him, and he's fully aware, so it wasn't something like the cop was in the dark and he just was defending his home or something. He was not wanting to be arrested or something. That's from what I saw the little bit, because now there's 1,000 clips out there. The original is somewhere embedded into everything, so I can't see it. But they have him apprehended already, and that the officer's not dead. So there'll be so many factors that's going to go on, and they might even protest, but none of it is going to make a difference because you fighting a dead cause. You know, it's going to be happening. They're going to do what they want to do. We don't have the money to hire, like Dee said, a lawyer that will make sense and get him off because he has money backing him.
So you
So
mean
yeah,
to tell me, Don, Ben Crump ain't gonna pro bono represent him pro bono like
No.
all the dead victims' families?
So,
right.
but
I doubt
listen,
it.
but here's let me say something just real, like, you know, Kia, you said, like, so why are we not rallying behind that? You want to know why I don't go to protests, why I don't give a fuck about most of that shit? Not don't care about the people that it happened to, but when it comes to like changing shit, because all of those steps that we talked about, you got to get the kids in school, you got to keep them in school, you got to educate them, you got to train them up, lawyers, okay, all of that shit. I would rather train us to do all that shit for ourselves and secede from the US than do that shit to change the US system. Cause why are we gonna try to change something that was built on our backs when actually the only thing good about the US is that we low-key have the freedom to do all the shit ourselves without their input. And Black people did it already with all the lockdowns that we used to have. They came in and they burnt the shit down, but we don't have to live like that anymore. We learned, we should have learned from our ancestors. So my stance is I don't want to change the US system. I want to secede from it.
Yeah, and listen,
I don't think
I
we're ever
wanna.
going to be able to change the U.S. system. That's not what I was saying.
We
But I
have to.
do think that we should rally behind him to get him. I mean, just to show that support. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy because there are more dead Black people at the hands of cops than there are cops at the hands of. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the crazy part to me. So I'm like, because this man would not actually just lay down and let this guy kill him. Because, like she said, she got from a police website that the man made a dead body radio call. Where's the fucking dead?
But you said like throw money at his case and his lawyer, right? To me, again, that's not the problem, because if you have a shirt with 15 holes in it, right, and you're like, here, you know what I mean, let's patch up these 15 holes. It may be better just to get a new shirt. And my point in saying that is that we could get the lawyer, right? We can fund him to get a lawyer, and it still doesn't change the overall system, is what I'm saying to you. And so, and if we're talking about
I
him
just
getting a
think we're
good legal,
selective as what we stand behind.
like a good legals, like a good representative would say, you know what, this is worth a fighting, and I'm gonna do it pro bono, as Dee said, right? If you're a good-hearted, yeah, I mean, a lawyer, we don't need to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, they should do it just because it should. So when you say take a stance, I think, or when you say rally, I think you need to be specific. I think you need to be, we need
I'm
to
saying
be
rally around him.
Like go to protest.
in what way though?
It
Like,
doesn't
what do you
even need to
mean
be
that?
like a protest. At the end of the day, he is locked up with
But rally
cops
how?
for shooting.
But
the
how though?
cop.
We're asking you how. Should we
So
put
I
money
mean,
on his
like,
books?
it could be anything small. Money on his books. Write him a goddamn pen pal letter. Anything. That could be the stance. I mean, every little bit helps at the end of the day.
Don't do it for their relatives and homies that's locked up.
And that's what I'm saying. Like the stand, like this is like something different though than like with your homies doing stupid shit that nobody stopped them from doing because they were present when the shit was going on. That's different than this.
Kia, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something very specific. What are you doing?
I actually was gonna send him letters. That's what I was gonna do, just to know, like, I stand with you, dude. Like, I wholeheartedly feel for you. I do.
How impactful, you said any little thing help, and that might help his morale while he's in jail, but I've never seen someone that's already incarcerated that gets a whole ton of letters, it really be impactful. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. It might boost his
But if
morale.
he's just defending himself, like he didn't actually commit a crime, you know what I mean? So it has to be hard to be yanked away from your family because you saved your life.
But not saying, I'm saying, like, she's saying, are we looking to help with his morale? Or are we looking to change? Like, what are we looking to do?
Just to show, like, you actually like, for you to do that in the midst of everything else that's going on, I would honestly look at you, as we were using the term before, a martyr. I would look at you like that, because you were the one that walked away instead of being carried away.
So I'll be the asshole to say it probably makes us sound a little bit like assholes, but I think the question we're asking is, what's the point? Like, at the end of it all, what's the point? Because the system is probably gonna lock him away for life. So what's the point?
And it is going to be based on money.
Doesn't always have to be based on money, though.
He
He said that when they did
society.
an interview with him, and he did say that the letters and stuff did help him. They were helping him a lot.
So that's good. If we send morale for him, that we could send a letter, and I would be down for that to help him with his morale. But as
He
far
still
as
might
the bigger
serve a
picture,
lifetime in jail.
yeah,
He's still
the bigger picture is he's still going to be representative, and the founding fathers, those people that run this country, because this is a capitalist society, are going to make an example of him. So they might throw him under the jail, but he's not the only one. Like, he's just the one that they caught on camera. But this has been happening. So now that we realize it, and instead of getting caught slipping, because like I said, I'm trying not to be pessimistic. As many guns as I might want to have in this house as a whole, as our the percentage of us in America, how many of us are alive, if we all are like that, we still wouldn't be able to go up against them in war. In war, we would not. So, I mean, yeah, everybody I talk to that says, oh, I got guns, I'm gonna be ready for them. I'm like, we wouldn't win. We'd be outnumbered. We'd be out, especially us here in Colorado. Because if we think we gonna run to the mountains of Monument, we gonna be met with some of the realest shit you ever spoke. And that's where most of, like, the Klan have their meetings. That's where they hunt. That's where they do everything, is in the Monument Mountains. So where will we go? Like, we're definitely outnumbered in Colorado.
So I'd be curious to ask him what would he suggest? How would he suggest we rally behind him? What would he suggest would be the appropriate methods and techniques in order to rally behind him, right?
Look,
Because
and that's something that you could put in a nice letter
yeah,
to him.
then you should. I think you should do that because again,
That was your question.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying you should do that because what I'm asking is because what we think we're doing sometimes we think we're helping and we're really not. You know what I mean? Like we're really not.
I just simply was saying it because he did join the black militia that was defending and protecting their neighborhood and things of that, and I respect that, because that, I feel like, just like our last conversation, I feel like that should be something that they do. You know what I mean? Like, we talk about police reform and all that extra stuff. People talk about that or whatever, right? But what do our own people do to help the community? You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have the police, the foot soldiers anymore. And he put his life out there to do that for his neighbor. So I respect that.
And I do too. Like I think it's better to, I think it's better to live and than to be murdered. Now, my question, let's bring this back around. When it comes to gun ownership, how can we rally behind him? What would be your suggestion to that?
As far as gun ownership,
yeah, how could we, in the way that this is what this conversation is about, gun ownership?
yeah,
How could we rally behind him on gun ownership?
Or in terms of
I'm
advocating
gonna
for
say promote people to go and get guns to defend themselves is what I would say.
Okay, we got to do more than promote, right? We got to make sure that we're training
Well, I'm
them.
not
We got
gonna
to
go
make
and
sure.
buy them for them. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
no,
yes,
I
I
know.
absolutely promote training and everything. I am totally for that, because I'm
We
doing
gotta
that myself.
we got to make sure that their mental health is actually well enough to make sure they could be responsible gun owners. There's so many things that come with that. And so in context of gun ownership, right, I think it's, because he seemed like he was a responsible gun owner, you know what I mean? And when he was in the position to protect his life, he knew exactly what to do. He was trained enough, like that lady was saying. And so, even just mimicking his calm, cool collectedness and making sure that we're doing exactly what he did. It's just unfortunate he got caught on the the shitty end of it, right? And he may have to take one for the team, and that might not change.
Right. But Stu, can I say something?
Of course.
So, even keeping that in mind, we are always the ones that are trying to follow the rules and be that upstanding citizen. And but at the end of the day, they're not. Mass shootings happen majority of the time by white folks, and whether they're allowed to carry the guns or not, whether they're legal or not, they be crazy for whatever reasons. When they go and shoot a whole lot of people in their people's most vulnerable state, whether it be kindergarten classrooms or people at a club or people at a public event, when everybody's drunk and twisted and nobody's thinking about that, and you just start killing up people, those people are the ones that are not really worried about it being about being upstanding citizens. So
I'm
this is
not
where
I'm not
our
saying we should
folly,
be.
right? They
I'm not
should.
saying.
Our folly has been, we always want to look at the law and abide by it and be within the means of following it, but they not. Like they fight dirty all the time,
And
and
at
we
the end of the day, they're the ones
from
that make the mental health questions that people are able to just fly by because you tell them what they want to hear, type of thing. You know what I mean? They're the ones that make those rules. So I mean, as far as mental health goes, I am a total advocate for mental health, and I feel like majority of people, if not everybody, needs to go to somebody's damn counselor or therapist or something.
But I'm saying as a community, we can hold the gun owners to that too. But you're right, Don. I'm not saying that we can only. We have a greater chance of not dying. We have a greater chance of not getting locked up when we adhere to the rules as they are right now, right? And I know that. I'm also by any means necessary. We just have to make sure that we know when to cross the line.
why
Mostly we
why do we have to know when to cross?
because
Why
because
can't we
because
cross it as much as they be crossing it?
because we don't
They
we
be
don't
stepping
make the
off on that
rules. We
line. They
don't
be
make the
crossing it.
rules.
Because
We
they
don't
just
make
gonna
the
kill us
rules.
all. That's why
Exactly.
they
We
just
don't
gonna
make the
kill us
But
all.
rules.
that's my point. They will kill us all if anybody steps out of line. So
That's what
no
I'm.
matter how
Yeah,
much guns we get, we would win that fight. We would lose that fight. I mean, we would lose that. I mean,
So
like if
go ahead.
insurrection, we would lose it.
So I have a out of the box idea, and obviously I'm not talking about me because I know I ain't shooting nobody. But for people who would, what I mean, and this might be reminiscent of the last conversation y'all had. I caught some of it, but I wasn't on here. Um, why can we not create an initiative? People who, and that organization that you named, Don, create an initiative to militarize. I've actually seen this in Tulsa. I'm sure it's in lots of places, but specifically for me in Tulsa, um, to protect the neighborhoods. And you're trained, and everybody's licensed, and everybody's above board, and everybody's legal because of exactly what you're saying. But it's not about like it's very strategic, and it's very organized, and it's very regimented, like the actual military. Like, what if we advocated for that? Would we have a better chance? And would people who feel like some of this is just too radical and too crazy, I mean, y'all heard me say I don't think they coming for us like that anytime soon. Probably maybe in another 300 years, but whatever. Um, would people like me be more likely to be like, oh, I absolutely think that my husband and my sons and my daughter, if she's down like that, should go be a part of this organization to protect our communities? Would they be more likely to be on board if we're organized, if we're training, if we're getting mental health checks, if we're doing everything legal and above board? Because I feel like when we start talking about protecting our communities, all of the sudden we get real like, fuck the system, I don't care, we just gonna do it. They do it crazy, we gonna do it crazy. Like, what if we don't do it crazy? What if we do it organized?
Well, I've tried. I've tried to be a part of the Black Panther chapter out here, and it didn't turn out nice. And it basically boiled down to finances. So I was a secretary, and every time dues came up, me and the 9 Black men that were a part of it had IOUs in the bucket. So nobody even wanted to pay their dues. We never, none of them Black men paid dues in the Black Panther Party that I was a part of in the Denver chapter. And so that I think is important. So because whenever we organize, it has to pay. Somebody has to pay for it. And how are we going to pay for it if, people don't even want to put in and pay dues and stuff? So it always dissipates because there's no money backing it.
But isn't that part of the initiative? If we're creating an initiative, then anytime you create an initiative, you got to fundraise for it. So isn't that part of just the initiative, the fundraising aspect? And then it's not because I would donate money to that shit. I wouldn't be in it, but I'd donate to it.
Would you be a teacher in it?
Hell yeah.
That's a contribution right there. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but so the ones that I've seen that are already in existence, ones that are run by Sharif, brother Jeff Welton, all of that, at the end of the day, they do a lot of fundraising, a lot of stuff. I would donate money to them too, but nothing has came to fruition. So I don't know why. I could ask a million questions, but
what do you mean when you say nothing's come to fruition? Because when I said I know of the one in Tulsa, I'm saying there's a video of them doing their training drills. So I mean, we ain't had a war in Tulsa, so I don't know what it means for nothing to have come to fruition. But like, there's a video of them training. They're training actively right now.
I think she's saying here in Colorado, but again, it's really all based on people. It's really all based on people, and that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know if it's the atmosphere or what is going on here, but there is a lot going on here in the state of Colorado.
Yeah. And I mean, if you want to be a conspiracy theorist, you'll believe that they're getting ready to round us up and put us underneath DIA.
I don't think it's going to be us that's going to be under DIA. There's a reason why we have an ammo shortage, ma'am.
Who do you think going to be under DIA?
I personally believe that that's the elite's turf over there, because that underground shit over there is stupid ass done. And they're not going to put us down there because that shit is better than this shit that we're in right now. So
it's not.
Yeah, and there's a reason why the ammo is not here, ma'am. They don't want us to have that shit because there's more of us than there is of them.
More of who?
Of us people here, Colorado natives and such or other.
Then more of the elite people?
Mm-hmm.
That ain't never stopped nothing, aka
that's
the
why we ain't got no ammo, ma'am.
I believe we don't have ammo because QAnon people are getting ready to put Trump back in office, and they're trying to do something with the Capitol.
We're gonna get into politics another day because
I'm just saying that's related to guns. I mean, it's covering guns. NRA, the rules that they're putting out on guns right now, trying to stop mass shootings, but it's related to us. It's related to Black Lives Matter because that's what's been killing us is guns.
Guns don't kill people. Stupid people with guns kill people.
Girl, it's a weapon.
So is a stick.
Yeah, and those stupid people happen to be of one nationality.
Listen,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, we can be caught slipping if we want, but I'm saying from what I know, the people that I know a lot of Republicans, I know a lot of white folks, and I work with them, and a lot of them are in the military, a lot of them work at the jail, a lot of them work in security, and their mindset is that there's short of a zombie apocalypse, that they are going to be prepared to defend themselves
Look, we're already
Absolutely.
there. Like, it's already starting. There's so many people that are oblivious to what's really going on in the world today. We're already here.
Yeah, so in preparation, you would advocate that we get more guns, and that we advocate that we all get guns. Two of the people, the five of us, haven't had any experience or don't have weapons. So
I have a
who's
question.
representative?
But I have a question to be more strategic. Y'all said it, okay, so they might be doing it in Tulsa, but they ain't doing it in Colorado. How much, and I realize that there are several factors that play into this, but if you're willing to say, how worried about it are you? Because again, you will build a bunker, but you won't move to Tulsa? Like, I mean, why not go somewhere where they doing the shit instead of
We
staying where
we
it's
still
apparently super hostile towards black people?
we
That's
still need a bunker in Tulsa.
Okay, but that was just an example. I'm talking
yeah.
about where they're actually doing the militarized, like black folks are militarizing. If
Because
they not doing it up there, go to where they are doing it. And I just said
We
Tulsa
don't
because I
got the
know they're doing it there.
resources. We
Okay.
don't have the resources or the network, right? Like let me tell you,
It's
if
cheaper to
I
live here than it is to live there. I'll just say that. Go ahead.
I know. Listen, but my point is this: my network in Denver it's massive. You know, I can move. I could do a lot here. If I was to go to Tulsa, I wouldn't have any. I almost would be at square one. I've spent a whole lifetime building my brand, my network, my value, my resources here. Why would I leave somewhere where it provides not just for me but for my community? You know what I mean? Unless the it was a peril situation. So I don't, it's not as always easy as just picking up and moving somewhere.
And
but
yet, that's one of those freedoms that white people use all the time. Like they literally pick up
They
and
have
move
they have white
all
privilege. They
the
have white
time.
privilege.
But they have white privilege, but like I feel like black people are more, and again, as a person born and raised in Oklahoma and as a person who knows a lot of people who have come and gone from Oklahoma, because most people are not born and raised here. Most people come and go. So like I feel like black people are more likely to take in a new person than white people are. White people have the white privilege to move and not need nobody. Black people don't have that privilege, but black people are better at community than white people are in certain places.
and then that dynamic, Nigel, is one that needs to be focused on, because like here, and I keep giving examples from what I see. I'm downtown right now, living in Curtis Park area. Before, there were more black people concentrated down here, all the way up to Washington, all the way on Welton. It was more black people, so there was more family. We all represent each other a little bit more. As gentrification has came, Cold Crush is not over there on the corner anymore, and now it's an elite boutique. Yes, the property value has went up for this area, but the sense of neighborhood is gone. Like I could literally just talk to two people on either side, and everybody else just comes here to go to work or they mind their business. So there's no sense of family. There's no sense of, I don't know who half of these people are no more.
Right. And I get that. And I feel you. And I am telling you 100% that is not the case here. And I am telling you 100% that's not the case in Texas and in most places in the South.
I get what you're saying, Nigel, but I also don't think it would be a good idea for everybody to migrate to just certain black areas. Does that make sense? Like, because now we're just all located in one location. Just bomb that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically, we're just
What, like Black Wall
right
Street?
there.
They
Yeah, you know what I'm
could
saying?
do Black Wall Street again. I mean, I would go. I would seriously go to Tulsa if anybody got wind of. Let's all go and mobilize. If they said let's mobilize and let's all move, let's do it, and everybody was on that real shit for real, and people just started leaving Denver, like black people just started leaving Colorado, leaving California, and everybody says let's set up in to Oklahoma. I would definitely be one of those people to pack my
Now that's
shit.
a different story. I would do it too.
So it might not be Tulsa, but Oklahoma is, and I don't know the history of everywhere. I know where I'm from. Oklahoma is where there were the most black towns, and there are several that still exist, right? And so I left the meeting to come here, and we were talking about black towns. It's a thing, and Move Black is a thing. So I mean, if that's a thing that you care about, pay attention. I can link you up with some folks. But I mean, that's just an alternative to what y'all are saying, because it sounds to me like y'all live in hostile territory. And if it feels that hostile to you, you don't gotta stay.
It doesn't. It just lacks culture now. That's it. I won't say it's hostile, but it definitely lacks culture.
Right, but I agree. I like that idea. I like that strategic plan. And then when we mobilize, it'll be so much of us in that one place, that we can do the Black Wall Street again, and we'll have enough people from different places like D to assist us on the front line type stuff, and we ain't got to pay because we'll be all living with each other in neighborhoods.
Yeah, but I mean, we're missing one key factor on any form of migration, and it's industry, it's work. How how we're gonna make a living? Because
Exactly.
Oklahoma's industries can't compare to Colorado's industries.
At all.
But
It's not
we can
as
change
widely
that
diverse.
diaspora. If we go into an area and all the people that have 800 credit scores or have their finances together and they go and fund it, because that's all you
But
need.
remember, the system is not set up for us, though.
No, it's set up to where there's enough black people have 800 credit score and have
How many
credit.
Yes,
but
but
unemployment is still high. The industries are limited. It's a really oil heavy, state, right? And so again, as you're saying, the industry is not as diverse as it is in Colorado. We have multiple industries and it's not as easy as just leaving here and living with people there. Like, that's fine. We're gonna live with our community, but then
But
how far can we get?
based on other people's examples, like, I mean, they have startup companies all the time. They start a tech company all the time, and they'll start it anywhere, and they've shown it by when they set up in a community. They set up it and it changes, and all of a sudden you got freaking Qdobas and all these little shops and Jamba Juices and shit all over the place just because they set up a tech town.
I would say,
All
though,
right.
if I be honest, like, I would think for that to happen, and whether it was a popular idea or not, we would have to have white allies. You know what I
Of
mean? Like, to
course.
get that.
But is that hard? That's not as hard to get as people try to act like it is either.
I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it is.
Okay. So, but before we even do that, like, I'm not even saying that there are a million jobs out here. I'm not even gonna say that. But a couple of things. It's all part of the strategy. If you gonna make a plan, you make a whole plan that covers all the things. You got to figure out where the kids are gonna go to school. You probably gonna have to build a school. You're gonna have to build an apartment complex because they're, whatever. If you're gonna go buy up an old black town, there's a whole lot of things you're gonna have to do.
A whole lot of things. And for one, we could start with stop spending all of our damn money.
Ma'am, that's what I was gonna say. The point of it is, the reason it feels hard to do is because we do a whole lot of unnecessary shit as it is. If we if it was that serious, I'm sorry, life is hard. Pick your heart. Like, it's hard to stay alive. It's hard to not die all the time. So okay, yeah. But
infrastructures and towns, that's hard to do.
Okay, but when
That's because we don't have no journeymen.
Because you don't have any journeymen, is that what you said?
Yep.
So the thing is, the land is already owned. The land already belongs to, like, our people. It's whatever. I've done part of this research already. But
don't even get no free electricians and carpenters to help do some free work at his
The
school.
majority of them won't even be carpenters and things of that nature because they don't like to get their nails dirty.
No free help.
Ergo our problem. Ergo our problem right now.
Thank you, Don. Like, I feel like me and Don are in this by ourselves, but like that's the problem because we would rather find the holes in the plan than find the solutions to the problem. But I mean,
No,
cool, that's fine.
that's not it. It has to be a balanced conversation. See, if everybody's saying yes, let's go, and nobody's saying hold up, hold the hell up.
Right.
No,
We gotta iron out the kinks. Like the
then
kinks
you
have to
bring up the
definitely be ironed out.
solution to the problem. But I mean, you got to approach it as if there's a solution, not as if
I mean, I
there's no
honestly think
You
everything
do,
goes
but
back
you
to
cannot.
our day
You
one
do,
conversation.
but you
Our
can't
day
do
one
that.
conversation.
Like I said, you have to look at all spectrums. This end, the positive end, and the negative ends. You have
Yep.
to look at everything objectively. You know what I'm saying, and be honest about it.
Right.
You know, because every bit, most, I mean, why you think a million dang businesses fail every year? Because everybody thought it was a great idea. They
Right.
didn't iron
No,
out all the
straight up.
wrinkles before they jumped off the porch. You know,
Straight up, the honesty of it is, for a while, you're not gonna be streaming no TV, and it ain't gonna be TV out there. To be honest, at first, to be honest, it ain't gonna be no internet out there at first. To be honest, everybody gonna have to get their fucking nails dirty. To be honest, you're gonna have to give up a lot of shit if that's what you really want.
Right.
But to
And
be
at the end of
honest,
the day, like that's what we're saying. Like things need to
want
be
the shit. They don't want
reestablished.
it. They don't want it.
Things
Though.
need to
We
be
don't want it.
reestablished. We definitely have to go back to the day one conversation where gender roles need to be reestablished. Start there. Stop so much the promotion of college and promote the journey of trade. Because if you have a trade, you always have something to fall back on. You know what I mean? And that's what teaching
No, and do
that
not stop
hands
college.
on.
Do not stop college. Higher
But
education.
a lot of
no
people that
matter
are
how
going to
it is.
college are not even doing what they went to
Okay.
college for.
How about this? I have a book. It's called The Symphony, and a Black woman wrote it. And she basically is promoting that you have 9 hustles. That nobody nowadays can just have one job. You need 9 hustles. Why not do everything? You don't just need to learn a trade and that's it. No, you can
Because it's not
learn
an option for
Spanish
everybody.
and Russian at the same time you learning English. They've proven it in every other country.
No,
Other
ma'am.
people
And I
foreign
also,
language.
even if it's not going to be 9, like let's stream it down. Why can't it be 3? Like my grandfather retired from the military and then became a physician's assistant. Like that's the story of a lot of our grandparents, and they were not made from different shit than we are. They just knew how to deal with less, with more than what we know how to deal with. They did more with less than what we do. So
Right.
like they had 2 hustles way a long time ago. How come we can't have 2,
Yep.
3, 4, 5 hustles? Because we got the internet that they didn't have. Like I don't.
Right. We just need to be on that page. I think that it's very realistic. I think we can do it. I don't think we need white backing. I think we have enough Black people in each of these industries if we come together. But the problem
It's
is
just a
those
matter of
Black
getting
people,
them to come to the realization that this is what needs to happen.
Hey, wait a minute. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, let me back up a little bit. What I agree with D. We're like, oh, let's jump off this porch. Hold on. We don't got enough money to start hospital systems. We don't got enough money to start universities. Like, we don't. I mean, with some
Why
maybe
do we have
universities, but
Why do we have to have our own hospital and university to have our own town? We can be our
what do
own
you have to
segregated town.
you have to
Why?
have a hospital and a university
Why?
for a town to thrive. Those are pinnacles in any successful community.
and you
What?
A
can. All
hospital,
you
a
need
hospital.
is 2 people. You get Jay-Z and Tyler Perry to get together some money, and they
Who
can't
are
make a
currently
fund.
still not doing shit. So
No,
Well,
that's
but
I'm
my
just
hold
point.
on.
I
saying
won't say that.
we're talking hypothetically. We could open up a hospital in a Black area. We could.
I'm not saying we can't do it. I'm saying why is that at the top of the list instead of just moving to the town and driving to the nearest hospital if something
Because
pops up?
people are diabetic, people have heart disease, people are being born, people are dying. Like, we got
I
a
didn't
hospital
say
is a
somebody
you need
lives
it.
in the town who's got medical training. I didn't say no EMTs live in the town. I didn't say no EMTs live in the town, but
Not a
they
full-fledged
whole
hospital,
hospital.
but you need an urgent care at least. Okay.
Yeah, and we do, and there are places wherever we set up, we're not going to be 1,000 miles away from civilization.
Right.
We're going to
I'm
be where
talking
we need
about
to
like
be.
20 minutes, like not like
Ah,
1,000 miles. And again, there are people there with training, just not a whole full ass hospital from day one.
I think it could be done, Stu. I don't know.
I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying we're gonna need more resources, and we're gonna need white allies. I don't like any like that's just, it's not feasible to think that right off the top we're gonna be able to go set up a town where we don't have some of the fundamental things that a successful community is going to have. If you look at
Who
rural areas,
said
if you look
right
at
off the top?
no, I'm look, if you look at during COVID-19, what you saw was in rural areas they suffered a lot because they didn't have hospitalizations, they didn't, or hospital systems, they didn't have adequate resources to meet the needs of the health needs of people in the area. We can't just act like you said, urgent care at minimum, but we need more than just that, right? And so you're right, it's going to take, I mean, Naja, you know this, I've shared this plan with you. So one of the things, I want to own or co-own or invest in a hospital. I want to co-own or invest in water systems. I want to, invest in food systems. I want to have our own food systems. I want to have our own universities and education systems, especially if it's black owned. These are what is going to make our town thrive, or these towns thrive. We can't just act like we're going to move somewhere and not have these systems that are going to make us successful in the long term, because it's not just a 20 to 30-year plan, because I put together a 25, 30-year plan. I have that, and I've been working on that for the last 3 years. You know what I mean? But so you're right. I know it's not going to happen all of the time, but we can't just act like we can just move in a mass
I think
amount
we could. I think that
and get to where we're sustainable, because it's about sustainability.
I think we could. I think we can take all our low or lower income people in this culture and combine them with all the higher income people and come up with a Wakanda. How about that?
And how long? What how many years? How long would that take?
What
How
are
long does
we
it take to
talking
put a
about?
house
Why are
up?
you
How long does
talking
it take
about?
them to build
Thank you.
communities on the outskirts of DIA?
Thank you. Like,
Six,
what are
six
you
months.
fucking talking about? Yes,
Yo,
because
if it
nothing.
was so if it
No,
was so easy, why has it not been done? You
Because
two.
we can't get along. Shit.
Exactly. There's
exactly
also
because
there's mental and psychological barriers. There's also mental and psychological barriers.
Right. Man, that's an issue. That Willie Lynch, that's an issue in and of itself.
It sure is. It sure is. But I mean, I'm aware of it. But I swear to you, yeah, there are situations where, and I'm not because I am from California by way of Colorado. So when I went to visit Atlanta, Georgia, and seen all them black people in there, I was in culture shock. Okay, and that's me and my example. I went to IHOP, and a black dude was talking to me. He had a gold grill, and I was like, you know what? I don't like these pancakes. They go, let me talk to your manager. This fool said, I am the manager. And I was in shock. I did not believe him because I swore up and down it was someone of a Caucasian, whatever, that was above him in some way or form. And then, yeah, I had to look and take that in because the majority of my life going to school, being around neighborhoods and stuff, black people are concentrated and there's still more white people than black people because I haven't grown up down south. So I don't see that a lot, but I still believe that if you get all the upper class black people, that 6 months top, as fast as they be building these new communities, these $500,000 houses on the perimeter, if we get our people together, because there are black journeymen, there are black carpenters, you get all them together with the lower class, let them pull the lower class in, we could definitely set up a Wakanda. I don't care what they say.
All right. Yep. I'm gonna say one more thing, and then I'm done on this topic. We can go back to guns. But here's my final statement: if you scared, don't come. Let's just get together the people that want to come, and if you scared, don't come. Cool. That's it.
I don't know why that statement is even made because people are critiquing, and you know what I'm saying? That's a little weird to me. But
Exactly.
yeah,
We need that. We can't. Let's not.
let's just think about it for a second. Before you jump in the pool, you dip your foot in first. I mean, goddamn.
No, y'all are not listening. What are you talking about? We're thinking about it, but every time me and Don say something that sounds like a solution, y'all just tell us how dumb we sound. So I'm gonna stop talking.
No,
She
no, no,
can
no.
have
Hey,
it.
That's
look,
not. That's not.
hey,
That's
let
not
me
what
tell
we're
you something.
saying.
So look, even
That's
if
not
you
what we're
put your
saying.
foot in the pool before you jump in it,
You
some
know.
people do just jump in and they take that risk, and it might not go right. But guess what? Then people keep on taking risks.
Yeah, but the thing
Look,
is, we don't have the finite resources to be having to do it over and over again. We got one shot. What did Eminem say? Got one shot to make it. We need to make sure we do it right because we don't got an infinite amount of resources.
we do
That's
not, and
assuming that all the black people, all the upper class black people don't buy in. But if they did buy in, we have resources.
hey,
Nigga,
can I?
Listen, I don't
I
need us.
also
I don't
It's
need us
all
to have
hypothetical.
infinite resources
on the
because I'm fine with us
psychological
using
side,
white allies.
we can't even get along. So it's like we
That
get
part.
it nicely right.
We can't get
You
along
know,
because y'all are mean. Like we trying to be optimistic and y'all want to be mean. That's why we can't get along.
no.
This is
See.
a discussion.
Look,
Hey,
wait. I just want to switch lanes on this whole conversation because
Right.
hold on. Can I make a
left off
point?
a gun.
I think it's important. I think it's important that, and then I think this is important to say in general, but black people in particular, just because we're pushing back on your ideas, it doesn't mean we don't support it, right? Like it doesn't, just because we're not 100% agreement, that doesn't mean that we're against you. We're not your enemies, and we're not saying that it's not a great idea. We're just saying, hey, we need to think about things a little more, and that's okay. You need to be able to have people who are not going to be yes man and just follow
Right.
you into the trenches.
Okay.
I agree.
complex issues take complex and critical thinking. I don't care
I'm
what it
gonna
is.
say one more time and not again. The problem is that you did not listen to either of our ideas. You didn't ask a question and then listen for an answer. You said we can't do this because this, we can't do this because this, we can't do this because this. That's
We
what you
never
said.
said it can't. So who's not listening? We never said can't.
Ooh.
Come on now. Oh, don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
So meanwhile, while we tripping, we got Trump and his minions starting a whole insurrection thing with guns, and we're talking about how we need to self-regulate ourselves with guns. But there's a whole slew of people, and Nigel, you might not believe this, but it could come sooner than you think. Because these fools is talking about August, they're gonna take over, and they got things planned in every major city. So just you want to be prepared. You don't want to get caught in the bathroom with your pants down. How prepared can we be is a question. We can get all the guns we want, but D can only shoot one at a time unless he's RoboCop.
That's what's real nice about not living in a major city. They ain't coming for OKC no time soon.
They coming for everybody.
Hey,
This
but
is gonna get real.
real talk, I work with a dude who grew up Mormon out there in Utah. And he straight up said that, all Mormons have a year worth of food supplies in their basement.
Wow.
They're serious. They're ultra prepared. They are
Most
ready for
black folks
everything.
most black folks ain't got a week worth of water in their damn garage.
Nope. And I was so mad because I need to go get some water right now.
So if we had an insurrection and everybody and they just wanted to say let's round up all the black people like they did the Chinese people back in the day, put us in concentration camps. All of us don't have to have weapons, but if we say let's mobilize in Walmart in the neighborhood, we all go to Walmart on Quebec. We would only be able to hold Walmart down for maybe a couple of months because they would come and get us. I think we'd be outnumbered.
So, and that's also with the insurrection. So we're talking about guns, but like Dee was saying, we need to have infrastructure. We need water. We need food. We need
That's why I said
houses. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's a system. You know what I mean? We got to think about systems.
Hey, even with houses, hey, even with Walmart, hey, them white folk gonna cut the power off on our black asses so fast. We ain't
We
gonna
ain't
know.
got nothing.
We
Yeah,
ain't
we
gonna
don't
know.
got solar
We don't
panels. We don't got
have
nothing.
to start a fire in here. No, niggas ain't gonna know what to do.
Right. But that's why I'm saying we in more trouble than what we saying, you know. So when we talk about gun ownership, it ain't so we can be kumbaya with the NRA. We're talking about gun ownership for protection. Protection against who? Protection against ourselves, each other. You know what I'm saying? It's the protection against an insurrection or someone trying to put us in a
I
concentration.
think it's coming. I think it's coming, and I think it's coming. I'm even willing to say like in the next 2 years, because this COVID shot stuff is getting real. So I'm gonna just leave that there. But I'm gonna switch lanes on this topic real quick.
Yeah.
Did y'all know that one woman every 14 hours is killed by gun at the hands of an intimate partner or spouse?
I didn't
Now
know.
we get into it. Now we get into it. So that's another part of the gun ownership piece that we tend to overlook. We forget the domestic violence. We think that we're protecting ourselves, and not just the partners, the domestic violence that are dying at the hands of their partners. You know, they're also, you know, a suicide goes up drastically with gun ownership. You know what I mean? And these are the very important pieces that we tend to overlook when we look at gun ownership.
True.
Which is why family structure should be a big focal point of making the decision to purchase guns, because I think if you kind of know what's going on, it's a little easier to control.
Well, I mean, people. I mean, a lot of idiots have guns, unfortunately,
Yep.
and just the process of the background checks is not thorough enough
Right.
to sift out the idiots. You know, that's just what it is. That's unfortunate.
And I think it's set up that way for a reason. You know what I mean? Because
But D, it's not just idiots though, right? Like mental health is a huge factor that some of the smartest people in the world suffer from, right? And
Talking
and and
mental
and
health.
and alcoholism, you know what I mean? Like and addiction. These are issues that the smartest of us suffer from. You know what I mean? And so you can be a really smart person and make good choices, and your mental health suffers because we know Black people have trauma galore, right? And
Yep.
so, you know, I think about some of this, and you know, even, you know, I asked earlier like how many Black owned gun ranges are there, but like what also if we thought about how many Black gun stores are there, right? So when people are coming to the gun stores to buy guns, we can actually hold our community more accountable. Like, I mean, maybe we should put you through a mental health evaluation before we give you this gun, right? And then we can have some level of accountability to our own community, because the white people who own guns, gun shops, they don't care about if a Black person with mental health is trying to buy a gun. They don't care. Here you go ahead, kill yourself, go kill your wife, go kill your kids. You know what I mean? They don't, they want that to happen, right?
the problem with it is that it's a standardized application that you fill out. So
Oh, I'm not
that's
talking
like,
about the
yeah,
standard application. I'm talking about like if you come into my gun store, yeah, you gotta fill out the standard application. But I know you be beating on your wife. You know what I mean? You may not have got a
Right.
case yet, but I know I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna give you a gun. Period.
I can
Right.
You know
feel
what I mean?
that. I can feel that.
And this is another problem as well. You know, most people with mental health issues, they're not diagnosed.
No, they're not.
Exactly.
Most people
Exactly.
don't even know that they got it, that those specific issues. You know, they even, oh, he just got anger problems. We don't know why he ain't never went and got checked out. He just, you know, so most people don't even know. You know, they're functioning every day like.
Well, I feel like because
No,
there's not a lot of encouragement from a lot of Black families on mental health disorders and things of that nature. Like most people are just written off. You know what I mean? Or it's just kind of ignored. Like it falls through the cracks.
So you know, I'd be interested in your data, Kia, because what you named, that 1 out of 14, one woman every 14 hours dies by the hand of their partner from gun violence. I'd be interested to know what that looks like for our Black community, right? Like, is that number drastically lower or higher? Like, is it 1 every 7 or is it 1 every 28? Like, I'd be interested in how those statistics actually translate into for our Black community?
I have to look into that. I didn't go that deep into the statistics. I was just kind of skimming over things, and that stood out a lot.
Yeah, but we don't have the resources either. Like in certain neighborhoods, low income neighborhoods don't have a lot of
Hold on, Don. You just said we don't have the resources for that, but we have the resources for to build a town. We can't say that. We can't. We
that was a hypothetical. Clearly said Wakanda. You heard me say Wakanda. Don't play. Clearly, you hold up. I'm talking about reality now, and the communities we are in right now. This low income community, based on my income medium, we don't have the resources available. If you make a lot of money, then you have a personal therapist to talk to you down off the ledge. You or
right.
all three people that's in you, whatever. If you have schizophrenia, if you have bipolar, if you have some type of anxiety disorder or any type of thing like that. Like there are so many different disorders that they don't even talk about. You don't even be aware that this is what your problem is because you don't read up on this is what your problem. Because anxiety alone is a disorder for a lot of
Absolutely.
people who don't
Absolutely.
like.
So Don, what like let me can if I can dream for a little bit, right? Like say I own I own I own a gun shop, right? And I have, it's a Black owned business, and you come in, Black people come to support. There's this whole new wave of Black people supporting Black owned businesses. You come in to buy guns, right?
Mhm.
And instead of having we have the standard procedures and everything. We got the gun range and all of that stuff. We also have a full-time mental health professional on staff, right? That we would suggest or encourage you to perhaps see this mental health provider, before we say okay, yay or nay to a gun, or if you do purchase it, you know what I mean, like you okay, like cool, you get to see that person, and say it's a Black mental health professional. I think that we can go above, and we have to go above and beyond what these subpar standards are for gun ownership, right? Like we have to be able to, as a community, be like, okay, we know that these are the low standards everywhere else, but we have a high standard of gun ownership, right? I think we have to start pushing each other to have higher standards of gun ownership, and not everybody should own guns. Period.
Right. Okay. So let's go into the hood then. Right. We talking about gang violence. I know a lot of people that have died by the hands of their own people. They homie, they best friends, or a rival gang. They've gotten shot up or whatever. So normally, when you have a traumatic situation like that, if you weren't in a low income neighborhood, you would have triage come in and you'd have a therapist on site to deal with it, like they have for the people that rich area down in Florida where the building collapsed. They have a therapist on site. So when you in the hood and you have a drive by and your peoples get shot up, somebody that was sleeping in the house or whatever, they don't have no therapist over there to follow up. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and I
So
think that's important too. Yeah.
yeah, so that type of stuff related to like gun violence, we can say that we want to do things legislatively and all that, but I mean, I don't think we can go up, and I hate being like this, but I don't think we can go up against the NRA. They'll brush us up down, but if we impose something per our community or our village, we can't enforce it. I don't think it'll be enforceable because it's not nothing state law, it's not federal, local law,
Ye-
just be
yeah, but
black
we don't. But
law.
like you said, like we have to decide in what ways we walk the line, and we have to decide in what ways we can't and we shouldn't. And I agree with you. It's not like it's going to be a mandate. I mean, I agree with you. Maybe it doesn't have to be this is required for you to buy the gun, but maybe even just having that mental health professional in a gun shop for anything that does happen in our community. And so, like, damn, this gun violence is an issue. We know exactly where we can go get some mental health, resources. You know what I mean? We go to this gun shop. If we're going to talk about gun violence, maybe that's where we locate and sit those resources. And so, And it doesn't have to be a mandate. It doesn't be a federal mandate or a state legislation that, you know, requires it. But like, as a community, there are some things we are going to have to go outside of the line a little bit and go above and beyond. You know, we have to, because they don't care. They don't care. They don't care if we're killing ourselves, and they don't care if we have the trauma. They don't care about none of that. And then that's why it's not a big issue for them.
Isn't that the way that they set up the whole system?
No, what whole system?
The whole system to demise ourselves, basically.
Yeah, to take away support for each other, so that when your homie gets shot or whatever, you can get talked down from retaliating and being in the same plight. Or, you know, most of the black men that go to jail from stupid misdemeanors or 3 strikes and shit that came through, that's still in effect. And most of them don't get any help. They just get medicine in jail. They
No, I'm
don't.
just simply saying that maybe that's the reason why they are not so like hard body on the mental
Of
health
course,
aspect
of
of it, because
course.
it's important. That's
We
that's how the system was set up.
and we suffer, and black people suffer highly from trauma. You know what I mean? Like, and so you're right. But you know, but it's the same concept of maybe having a full-time addiction counselor a part of your liquor store, right? Like, yo, like that is not a requirement, but this stuff like this could really impact our community. But it's again, we have to go above and beyond the standards, right? And so it's not just about getting money. If I own a liquor store in the hood, yo, I also think it might be good to have a addiction counselor who's a part of our staff. So when motherfuckers is coming in, they're really having a hard time. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna get the addiction here, we can also help you to deal with the addiction here.
Or won't you
Now,
go talk to him before you go get that 40?
so now, let me push back a little. Don't take
Do
a
it. Do I
Push back
don't.
a
I
lot,
won't.
B. Ain't nobody scared of you. Push back.
God dang it. The problem with mental health diagnosis is that it's very subjective. You can go to 5 psychoanalysts, psychotherapists, psychologists, whatever, and get 5 different diagnoses. That's the problem in and of itself. You know, that's
Yeah.
what you know, you always hear Dr. Umar going off on that stuff, right? Misdiagnosing our black boys and all this stuff and da 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 da, you know. So that is a
I'm
thing.
not. You're right. You're right. I'm not thinking about the diagnosis, more so the treatment.
No. So from what I understood, you were talking about, say, having a mental counselor in these gun stores, right?
Yeah.
Basically, you know, do a psychological evaluation, you know, before getting a gun.
Well, I don't think we can do that. Like, because Don made a very good point. Like, we couldn't mandate that, right? And so I think that's a valid point. We could not. I'm just saying, like, if you are a victim of gun violence, or if you're suffering from some trauma around gun violence, or if you're not quite sure if you should own a gun, you know what I mean? Like, maybe you should see this counselor and talk with this counselor. Just offer it as an option, you know, for it. I don't think we should diagnose people. And I think that if you're versed in the black community and you understand the black community, you know that diagnosing, we are misdiagnosed on a regular basis. I guess I'm not talking about diagnosing, just more so making treatment available.
Well, with that treatment, though, at some point there has to be a conclusion, right?
Maybe, I mean, like, so for instance, if my brother died from you know, gun violence, you know what I mean, like, and I just need to go see a mental health therapist, you know what I mean, I can go into this gun shop, you know, and talk to this person about that, right? And who would probably really understand, who could understand guns, understands the violence, and understands the black community, and could put it all together for me, right? I'm not, and it may not be about, you know, a specific outcome, right? It's just about me being able to be like, you know what, damn, this is really impacting me, right? And I'm thinking about getting a gun myself, and I don't know if I'm in a good place to do so. Maybe I should talk with you before I do purchase that gun. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that I shouldn't, but like, yo, maybe you can help me with some direction.
And I get that, but you know, let's be honest, that's an extreme circumstance, because
Of
everybody
course.
brothers who've been, killed by gun violence and things like that. So that's a very niche population. So yeah, because I'm just looking at the practicality of it, and I kind of liken it to the analogies that people have with fast food restaurants. If a McDonald's employee sees a fat guy, like, damn, you look like you got high blood pressure. I'm not gonna serve you these high sodium ass fries. I don't want your health. I don't want to be the cause of your health issue. You see what I'm saying? It's like, how far do we play Big Brother, so to speak?
I don't know if we can do that. I don't think that would work, to be honest with you. And so it would only push people away, right? And I get that. So I don't think it's it's just having another measure of accountability.
Right.
True, but I just think
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I actually fully disagree with that. I feel like the way that our grandparents and great grandparents succeeded is by having full accountability in most areas. And yeah, some of them ran from it, and some of them rebelled against it, and that's how you got not in the community. So if you want to be here with the community, under the protection of the community, you have to abide by the community's rules. And if you don't like it, you don't have to be here. And I'm okay with that.
right, because the Mormons, they do it. They have their own sovereignty, regardless of what the state and everybody says. They do their own little thing in their community.
A lot of people do. We don't. We don't
Right.
our communities in the sense that, hey, like in China.
Here's the thing. I just honestly think that our community just really needs to get in touch with dealing with their emotions, communicating, and that's how you're able to identify your problems. And I think the majority of the accountability needs to be placed there.
And I agree. But on top of that, we got to have a moral compass.
That too, it's not being instilled anymore because the homes are broken.
But we don't have a home. That's why it's broken, because it ain't there.
But like I said earlier, I mentioned earlier about we sweep a lot of stuff under the rug. Like I said, you got that pervert ass uncle.
Yep.
That still is allowed to come to the cookouts and family.
God dang it.
You know what I'm saying? And he ain't getting his ass stomped down into the ground. You know what I'm saying?
And ain't nobody saying
It's all of
shit,
that.
and I don't understand
It's
that.
all of that.
I don't understand that.
And the person who always is calling out that uncle who likes to touch everybody, that person is dismissed by that person's crazy. That person's crazy.
You're right. You got a lot of parents, and you got a lot of people in my family is an example. Just some of the older generations, they didn't believe some of the children, the parents, the grandparents. They didn't believe some of the children.
And I don't even think that they didn't even believe them. I believe that they did, but the embarrassment of the community knowing that they have a pedophile in their family is what prevented them from actually acting on it. But I don't play that shit.
Your love for your child should supersede any of that.
You get that?
I agree with you.
I think a lot
I'm
of
that person.
I think a lot of people twist reality and be in denial, because if they really accepted it as the truth, then they would have to act on it. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to act on it.
I agree with you. I agree with you, and I think it comes from fear. So it's easy for me to say this as a person who's mostly alone. So I don't have to worry about losing my family, because I don't have a whole lot of family to lose. But people are more worried about being alone than they are about protecting future generations or protecting their kids or whatever. Yeah. So instead of saying, like, here's the truth, and if y'all are all gonna act like I'm a liar for telling the truth, then I'll leave. Instead of doing that, we just stay, or we don't tell the truth, or we perpetuate these cycles, and it's all fear-based. It's all fear-based.
It comes down to, I liken that analogy, Naja, to a wolf pack. A wolf will rather be a beta or a sigma male in a wolf pack than to be a lone wolf on its own, because a lone wolf is a dead wolf in that instance. And like you said, a lot of people think that they can't survive on their own. They can't go without their family. You know, they need that family grouping, you know what I'm saying, to survive. And they will eat shit. They will be a doormat. They will allow themselves to be stepped over and run over and abused to be a part of the group because of their mental weaknesses and low self-esteem and insecurities. Yeah.
And that all
That's
centers
where
back to self. I honestly think it all centers back to self because when you know yourself well, you don't really need nobody. And it will make you step into the shoes when they need to be filled. You know what I mean?
Right.
I won't go so far as to say you don't need anybody, but you can live without folks if it's if push comes to shove.
true, but for
Yeah.
those that can't, those are the ones that are gun owners, and those are the ones that end up doing something that they regret because you can't get that person back if you kill yourself, if you kill somebody. And I've been hearing a lot about the double suicide, murder suicides and stuff, and people who have been mentally hurt or have all those underlying issues and don't address that trauma, and we get to the point to where we're doing all this stuff with guns, and we don't have no say so in changing these laws at all. NRA will laugh you out the door.
They sure will. They sure will. And
Yeah.
they definitely are not getting ready to advocate to have no real life therapists or somebody there to do evaluations. They're going to ask you the 3 questions on there, and then that's going to be it.
Yeah, NRA don't even like the fact that we got to go through background checks.
Right.
They want people to just be able to go show a driver's license or state ID, and that's that.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I personally think, though, that more people need to definitely own guns. I do feel like they need that because we're under attack.
Who are we under attack with?
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Well, I mean, can I say the I word, or are you talking about something different?
The I word? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So who are we under attack? Who?
Well, it starts at the top.
Who?
The government, girl.
The government?
Mm-hmm.
You talking about the current administration?
I'm talking about the government as a whole entity.
D, how you feel about that?
I don't think that we're under attack from a perspective of needing arms. I think it's always been a spiritual warfare, psychological, medical. You know, we have some of the worst health in America. You know what I'm saying? So we're more attacked in that standpoint, because the thing is the powers that be, why would they want to exterminate in a war-like fashion, I'm talking about in a gun and warfare type fashion, their labor group, their tax-paying laborers? No, they just want
tax money, and they need us in the prisons, making all their shit and making them all that money. They're not gonna wipe us out. They just need to keep us down.
Keep us down, exactly. So I just don't think that we have anything to fear from a warfare perspective from the government. Now, you know, some of these right-wing militias, you know, but that's a whole nother story. You know, I just saw the movie The Purge forever. You know,
I think that's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen most definitely. But I say because I don't know. I'm hearing a lot about the door-to-door COVID vaccine thing. That in itself, like, don't have the government at my door trying to force me to take this shot.
Well, I mean, I got Johnson Johnson, so I got it because, I mean, when you look at vaccines in general, if you leave the state, you go to any other country, like my goals are to go travel. If I travel, I'm taking way more than Johnson Johnson. I'm gonna be taking malaria, whatever. Especially going to Africa, I'm taking 7 vaccines. So they're not. It's not as hyped as what they're saying. I don't think I'm gonna turn into a zombie from this vaccine. Like, vaccines have been out in the world for a long time. I just took it just so I could have that paper that would get me through a door that I might want to go through one day.
100.
Just like
And
I'm
I
You're gonna
have
have an electric.
get into
You're
doors.
gonna have an electric passport. It's gonna be your medical passport.
I have a question though. Number one, how soon do you think that, because they've been talking about this electronic, our whole lives gonna be electronic. They've been talking about that for a long ass time and the shit ain't happened. That's number one. But number
It's
two,
gradually happening though. You don't see it gradually happening?
not in terms of like real legal shit. So I thought it was gonna happen with COVID. But
It's happening with COVID.
they wanted COVID to be well, okay, my second question will make more sense. I really wonder how much of all of the perspectives that we bring to the table are super regional, because every single thing that you've said about COVID is not true in Oklahoma. Everything you've said is not true in Oklahoma. So like how, and I know that it's probably even different in Colorado than it is in New York. And I know it's different in all the 50 states than it was in Panama. They on a lockdown curfew right now. So what, like, you say it happened because of COVID, but I'm telling you, I'm going back to school in 4 weeks as if a pandemic never happened. We ain't even got a mask.
Right. No.
So,
I'm
like,
saying that the ball has started rolling because of COVID. Maybe I should have said it like that. And if you pay attention to what's actually going on right now, you are technically really going into the electronic field of everything, because you now have all delivery services. You can get everything delivered to you at home. You also have self-driving vehicles now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's happening. It's happening whether you know it or not.
The question isn't do the things exist. The question is at what point
well, they're already lining it up. That's what I'm saying.
Cease to exist. But no, straight up. Because yeah, some people said that this was the mark of the beast. People said that this was technology, the next thing. But I'm saying at the point of the shift of everything being a digital thing is when you cannot move through the world without it. And I feel like
I want you to think about what happened during COVID. A lot of places weren't even accepting cash. So it's already happening right now is what I'm saying. They're putting these things in place so that you are totally digital. And I feel that the COVID vaccine has a lot to do with it, because there was something that I did see. It was a lady that got the COVID vaccine, and she worked at a veterinarian clinic. She scanned her non-vaccinated arm. There was nothing. She scanned her vaccinated arm, and a goddamn scan chip number came up.
What is she scanning with?
She scanned it with the chip reader. For the animals, you know, when they chip animals and they find them and they can scan the number. Yeah, she did it, and it came up on her damn vaccinated arm.
Well, I'll give you guys all an update. I'm going to scan my arm and see if there's a chip in my goddamn arm. But right now, there's not a chip. I don't feel a chip. Nothing has happened to my arm, and it's been 3 months. So I don't think...
They say technology is the mark of the beast because of that. That's why they were trying to coincide those two together.
There's not no chip in my arm right now.
You don't know if there's a chip in your arm, ma'am. Technology is a beast, my friend, and that chip is so goddamn small, you can't feel it.
No, I mean, so then why
if it can be transmitted through a needle, you wouldn't be able to feel it.
Right, you wouldn't, but I'm saying there's no other indicator at all, because you can have reactions or whatever to a piece of anything on a microbe level getting put in your body.
Which I get. I don't know anything about the COVID vaccine because I'm not getting that shit. But what I'm simply saying is there's a lot of people saying that there are things happening with that shot that should not be happening, like coins sticking to them. Chip readers picking up numbers.
That got that shot, I'm telling you, I haven't had anything out of the norm happen to me. So
I'm not saying you. So I'm just saying.
But I got shot. I'm an example right now.
Right, but maybe Kia, maybe we need to talk offline, or maybe we need to have. I'll present to you offline another topic for conversation, because I was partially worried about things like that in regards to the vaccine, but when I say, like, I wish a nigga would, but then also I feel very deeply protected. For the same reason I don't feel the need to carry a gun, I don't feel worried about this shot, because my protection ain't my protection got me under control. So, like,
I feel you. I feel you 100%.
I feel like maybe, yeah, maybe they did some shit to the vaccines, but, like, it ain't coming for me.
But wait,
Maybe it's coming for somebody, but it ain't coming for me.
and look, this is a sidebar. If they did something to the vaccine, why are they trying to offer a boost? Are they trying to put the chip in people that they forgot to put the chip in the first time? Like, they offering Pfizer and them financially are trying to make as much money as they can off this situation.
I don't even think that it's everyone. Personally, I don't really think that it's every company.
So how do they decide?
I don't really know. I just know that I see things changing, so we could possibly be getting ready to be attacked.
That's that conspiracy theory. But see, I'm gonna be honest with you. If people see, I'm gonna put it to the test right now, Kia, because so for some of them doomsday preppers and end of the world people in 1999, they was quitting their jobs, selling everything they owned, you know what I'm saying, getting ready for the world 2000. So
I'm just gonna say, like, just because you don't physically see it doesn't mean that it's not there, though.
But hold on, kid, let me just finish saying this. If you really think some shit's about to pop off in the next year, why the hell are you still here? Why are you not on some damn island somewhere? You know what I'm saying? Chilling.
Oh no, I'm not afraid. If that's what you think I'm saying. No, I'm just saying everybody needs to get prepared. I'm not afraid. And I'm not gonna run either.
It's not about being afraid, but the thing is, a lot of courageous people die in war.
Right.
So
they do.
Not about being afraid. I'm just saying, if you want to preserve, to more guarantee the preservation of your life, whether you're scared or not, why stay here?
Because I don't fear death.
Because you're about to die. So you could be dying. You're not talking about preservation. You're just talking about the fact that you're trying to prep and warn people of what's coming.
Absolutely. And so while you talked about 99, you brought up 99, right? And how people were tripping and they was talking about doomsday and all that extra shit.
Yeah,
I want you to think when the shift happened of all the fuck shit that's going on right now. It was in 2000 when the clock rolled over and shit started going downhill.
Well, but
real fast.
Because of the so-called mark of the beast, this technology, you could warn people living in Antarctica with Wi-Fi. Yeah. You don't got to be in the States. You could be in the bush somewhere in South Africa.
That's my point that I'm making, that we are potentially getting ready to allegedly be attacked. It's been a whole workup over the last 20 years, especially.
Do you think guns are going to help us?
I think a gun is going to get me to wherever it's going to get me, but I mean, I ain't going out without a fight.
A gun just get you to 100. A gun's going to get you to 120th in Thornton.
What does that have to do with the cost of tea in China?
I'm just saying, if we are.
What I'm saying is, if I'm at my house and you come up in here trying to force me to take this shot, then I guess it's gonna go down however it's gonna go down.
Until you run out of ammo by dawn.
And then it is what it is. But I ain't taking the shot.
You'd rather die than take the shot?
Okay,
but what is really the big fight about being here at the end of the day? As fucked up as it is here, who's really fighting to be here?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I done been to a lot of third world countries. America could be way more fucked up than what it is.
Yeah, but America's on its way to being way fucked up because it's been sitting at the table with those other third world countries that you're referring to.
No, okay. but our living situations ain't nowhere near.
Not yet.
There.
Not yet, sir. Homelessness is going up, skyrocketing out of this world. So,
but
not yet.
But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, this is the land of opportunity. Still, we got more ways to make
Until it's
money
not.
than any and every country on this planet. There's more ways to make money. There's more ways for uneducated people to make money.
$18 an hour.
No,
Yeah,
what I'm
so
saying
listen, fuck America all day long, but I really agree with D. Like, I can't go nowhere because if nothing else, it's easier for me to make $1 here than a lot of places.
And that's facts. Canada's the only place that we should consider if we had to leave.
Only place.
Am I the only one that's been vaccinated or whatever?
No, I'm vaccinated. I had to. They was gonna make me. I had to decide: was I gonna get vaxxed or was I gonna choose a new job?
See, and that's crazy to me. How you force somebody to do?
I overstated. I had to choose if I was going to get vaxxed or if I was gonna be comfortable at my job, because they're not gonna protect the schools. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're going back in August, no masks, school kids, everybody in there, and the kids ain't getting vaccinated. So, like, my original thought was all the adults will get vaccinated and then I'll just be all right. Because originally I wasn't going to do it, but then I wanted to travel, so I got vaxxed for that reason. And then I was like, I'm not going to be in a cesspool of coronavirus next year, so let me just go ahead and get vaxxed because kids are nasty.
Yep.
I got a homie that work in DPS. I got a homie that work in Aurora. It's mandatory for all school employees to get vaccinated.
Y'all must not have a teacher
and
shortage
hospital
like
staff
we do out here, because I know my old school was only at about 50% because we can't keep teachers, and so they're like,
oh no, it's mandated, and they're absolutely going to lose a lot of people because there's a lot of people that are not going to get that shot.
Yeah,
which will add another layer to the bullshit.
Yeah,
right.
I think they'll probably back off of that if people.
I don't think they will.
No, if people hold their ground.
I don't think they will. I think they're going to push your ass right back in your house where all the services are now right at your doorstep. You won't be outside.
Okay. I just got it because it ain't that serious. Shit. It's like any other vaccine you get every year. They've been pumping vaccines in people forever. So I don't think it's that serious. Like, I don't think I'm going to turn into a zombie. I think people that are on like maybe radiation or cancer treatment patients or something like that will turn into, have more of a chance.
I don't even think it's going to be like turning into zombie type shit, but I'm just saying there's been a lot of governmental experiments and warfare that have been placed on the citizens of the country. And I just feel like this is the start of the major. Because Obama did sign in martial law, so I'm just saying.
Yeah. But like I said, the last thing they want to do is kill off their worker bees, kill off the labor.
They're not going to need worker bees here in a minute. Do you see what I'm saying? Everything has now transferred to internet. Majority of people are doing everything via technology-wise.
No, you can't fix nobody's plumbing with a computer. You can't fix nobody. Ain't no computer done paved these dang roads that's just got paved up the street from my house.
Right, we ain't that far yet either. You're right.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? We ain't on the iRobot to where there's robots and whatnot that can just do human work. Yeah. So we're not there yet.
We're not right there, but trust me, it's in the works.
Okay, I have a question back to Kia, what you were saying about like, okay, they gonna come to your door, they're gonna try to make you take this shot, so you gonna shoot them, and then they gonna send for reinforcements.
Did she say she gonna shoot them?
I didn't say I was gonna shoot him. I said it'll go down however it goes down. Shit, they might just put me on house arrest. Like, you can't come outside ever. Fuck it.
Okay. Okay. No.
They might shoot your ass.
They might shoot me.
And
but I might shoot them. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? It's gonna be what it is.
An hour later, with your arm hurting.
That's what I was. That's what I was about to say.
And you don't think that that's a form of attack?
If it's that serious,
is that not attack?
Yes,
but is that not attack?
Like, I just wanted to make sure that you knew what the eventuality was, because if it's gonna be that serious to them that they're gonna come to your door and try to force you to take it, if they really gonna try to force you, you gonna get the shot and you gonna shoot somebody and that person's gonna be dead, but then they're gonna send a backup squad and it's gonna be more of them motherfuckers and they're still gonna shoot you up. As I just wanted to make sure you knew that was
it just is what it is. It just is what it is.
They're gonna shoot you with something. Something metal is gonna go in your ass. Whether
But
it's
that just proves my point. That just proves my point. There goes your attack right there. I thought this was the land of the heavy quotations free. So there you go, right there.
All right, I want to revisit this conversation and be like, yeah, I end up getting that shit. That
You a
shot.
motherfucking lie. Nope, not me. Not on duty. Not on duty. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No ham, no turkey. I want to tap back into this gun ownership, though. Like, it doesn't have to be tonight, but I definitely want to have another round and we can tap into the other layers of gun ownership.
Yeah, because we didn't even spend any time talking about people who, I mean, or if we did, I missed it, talking about the people who own them illegally or get them illegally.
Yeah, we didn't tap into a lot of avenues of it, because it's a deep subject.
Yeah. I know about 40% of American households have guns in it.
Yep, 40 to 50%. You are correct, sir, and that's about 120 to 150 million homes.
Right.
Or people.
Yeah.
But how many of those are black?
Legally or illegal?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure these polls are off legally. I'm pretty sure these polls are off legally.
Do the consensus. Do a sample size. Look at your neighborhood and whatever percentage that is. That's a sample size of the population.
Yeah. I mean, I had some before I was 21. So yeah, I know a lot of people do. Yep, a lot of people do got them illegally.
That's how majority of them get them.
Right.
Okay. Cover that too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's reconvene. Kia, I'll text you what the other topic is we need to talk
Yes, because I'm here for the shit. I'm telling you, I am here for the shit.
I'm ready.
And feathers will be ruffled. It's whatever. But I mean, I just say these are the conversations that we need to be having. I want people to talk about these in their own homes, whether they get on here and talk about it or not. You gonna have the conversation at some point or another.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, we've done it again, you guys. The 3-hour damn podcast.
Yep.
That started on gun ownership and took several different avenues.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what we do on the Real Spill.
That's what's up.
Is everybody on here subscribed to this YouTube channel?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Can we start sharing the videos? I'm gonna chop this one up and have some shorts because people are not gonna sit here and watch 3 hours, but some people will. Well, it makes the workday go by real fast.
Put the shorts up. I'll share them.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Do it like Vlad TV.
Like Vlad, I don't want to do nothing like Vlad.
No, he do it right. He'll bust up a 2-hour interview and have 40 damn parts.
You show is right. He do that. He does do that.
Just make sure we do have access to the long version because I've been.
Yeah, the long version is always on YouTube, and whenever you want to share it or download it or whatever, it's there.
All right.
So yes, thanks again for joining us, and we'll do this again.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Take care.